Purple Diamond. I've got Steve Wilson with me. He's pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers right now. He's been traded around just once from a major league club. Steve, you're initially born and raised over in the Comox Valley. You're in the Courtenay area on the island?
Yeah, I was born in Victoria and grew up for most of my young life in Courtenay, and then moved to the Lower Mainland when I was about 13 in 8th grade.
And you got involved in baseball in Vancouver?
Well, I was involved in baseball growing up on the island. We played in the Courtenay Recreation Association, it was called at that time, and it was just kind of like a loose form of Little League. It wasn't associated with Little League, but it was just the Courtenay area, and I played in that. And when I got to Vancouver area, North Vancouver, is the first time I got involved with organized baseball.
Was that the Babe Ruth League that you were involved in?
It was in, yeah, Junior Babe Ruth in North Vancouver.
And then from Babe Ruth League, you progressed to one of the inter-community Babe Ruth?
Right. Went from the Junior Babe Ruth in North Vancouver over to, we moved to the other side of the city, so I ended up playing Senior Babe Ruth in East Van, the inter-community was called, and got involved with the BC Select program through Baseball BC with Kevin Reimer, who plays with Texas. We both were involved in that, and we got a little bit of exposure playing down in baseball tournaments in Washington State and things of that nature. So that was how I got a chance to play college baseball. And from there, at that time it was just a thrill to get a chance to play college baseball. I didn't think I would have that opportunity. And once I got to college, I realized maybe I have a chance to play professionally, and it just kind of, went from there.
It just progressed from there. Now, you were on the East Coast. You were playing in the Port Charlotte?
Yeah, in the Florida State League. That was my third year in the minor leagues, 1987. I signed in 1985. 1987 was the first year, really, I started to have some success in Port Charlotte.
And from Port Charlotte, you went to the Texas chain, and you had, I believe you still have the record for strikeout record?
I don't know about the strikeout record. When I went to Tulsa, that's in the Texas League, I was still with the Texas Rangers farm system. Kevin Reimer and I played together in Port Charlotte and in Tulsa, so we kind of worked our way up through the Rangers system at the same time. We both went to Tulsa, and I had 18 victories that season. And at that time, I'm not sure if that record's been broken, but at that time it was a single season.
That was pretty well a record that was unheard of?
Well, no, Walt Terrell. I tied Walt Terrell.
That's a big plus.
Yeah, it was nice. He's had a pretty good career in the major leagues, almost 10 years, I think, and that's what I hope to have, is a little bit of longevity.
Nothing wrong with that. You were in the Texas organization in general, and you were traded from the Texas Rangers after a little short stint there to Chicago. What was it like playing in the big windy city in Chicago?
Oh, Chicago's a great town. It's a blue-collar city, and it's a great sports town. The people are big on their teams, the Bears and the Bulls, the Blackhawks, and they support their teams really well, and it's just a good sports town. People know, they're very knowledgeable. Wrigley Field, I think we averaged 33,000 fans a game in a 35,000 seat ballpark. Once school was out, once the summer began, it was, you couldn't get tickets from the time school was out till Labor Day weekend. So it was just a great place to play. It's a fun city. We played, the majority of our games were in the daytime. So, we had evenings.
Yeah, that's a bit of a controversy, where they want the nighttime games there, and everybody didn't or were not in favor of it.
Yeah, there was Wrigley Field is situated in the north side of Chicago, in a residential area. You walk out of the ballpark and there's homes all around you. So what happened was, for years and years, they were the team, the only major league team that didn't have lights. And in 1988, they finally, got lights.
That's be different, playing it and having a little bit of community involvement, saying, no, we don't want Major League Baseball, we don't want nighttime baseball.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal, because I think 2 years or so before that, right after the '84 season when the Cubs won the National League East pennant, Major League Baseball had gone to the Cubs and said, look, if you make the playoffs in the future, if you don't have lights at that time, you're going to have to play your home games in St. Louis because of the lost television revenue.
Well, and that'd be costly, so naturally they're going to push for the, the lights, which is only understandable. Do the teams in Chicago, whether it's the Bears or the Blackhawks or whatever, and the Cubs, do they all get to know each other? You get to, the players, not just the players, get to know you real well on the different teams. Does the community get to know you when you walk downtown? Everybody knows who you are?
Yeah, it doesn't take long, because of WGN, the super station in Chicago, televises most of the Chicago area teams' games, but specifically they televise every one of our games, home and away, back to Chicago and all the surrounding Illinois and Indiana and Wisconsin areas. So it doesn't take long for the fans to get to recognize you when you go out to a movie or you go to dinner or something like that. But it's kind of one of those things where it's a lot of times it's really neat to say, geez, people recognize you. Or kids come up to you and go, hey, aren't you, Steve Wilson, don't you play for the Cubs? And it's kind of a neat feeling to be recognized like that.
You had a little bit of a good time, I guess, in Chicago when you were there. Tell us about the day you got traded. It was quite the, from start to finish. I hear you were involved actually playing or having a practice at the Team Canada skate with Mike Keenan.
Yeah, it was, well, the day I was traded was a Friday, September the 6th, and I think it was Sunday afternoon. I was going to go work out with Team Canada in the Canada Cup. They were at that time still going through the exhibition series before the regular tournament. And I got to know Mike Keenan and some of the other Blackhawks during my time in Chicago, and he invited me to come and have go through the morning skate with Team Canada. Unfortunately, I was traded on the Friday before the skate, so I ended up missing it, but I got some nice Blackhawks gear out of the deal.
Yeah, you got some Blackhawks, and who in general, was any specific person got you the equipment?
I got a pair of skates from Adam Creighton, and a lot of the equipment, they just had a big equipment room, with extra shorts, extra everything, so they just got stuff that fit me, and that was that.
That must have been quite the idea of a trade, thinking you're going to go home and have supper with the family and that, and having to phone your wife and saying, guess what, I'm going to Pittsburgh?
Well, that's what happened. I got traded on, I was in Chicago. It was a Friday day game, a 120 game at Wrigley Field, and we get to the park about 9 o'clock in the morning on a game like that, and gone through batting practice, and the pitchers had gone out and we'd done our running, and I had come back in and gone through infield, outfield, and I was changing into my uniform. It was about 1:45, changing into my uniform for the game, and the traveling secretary came over and said, hey, Steve, shower and change. Jim Fry, the general manager, wants to see you. So I got up to Jim Fry's office, and he just basically said, Steve, you got a 3:30 flight to Pittsburgh. You're with the Dodgers now. So I had to shuffle back down, pack up my stuff, leave the car at the ballpark, and get to the place, pick up some more things, get out to the airport to catch the plane right into Pittsburgh. And I went right from the airport in Pittsburgh to the ballpark.
Now, the public hears about players being traded like this. How does this play in your mind when you hear something like this, that, that's a real shock to the system, that, you're no longer in that city and you've got to leave?
Yeah, for me, it was more of a case of elation. I was really happy. I didn't want to express it in front of Jim Fry that I was being traded, but
well, he's no longer in that capacity anyway.
Well, I think he's involved as advisor, advisory type role.
Maybe it was a bad mistake then when he traded you there.
Well,
might have been part of it.
It was great for me. Yeah, I think the Tribune company felt that they needed to make some changes in the Cubs front office, and Jim's a super nice man, and I was really lucky to get a chance to meet and play for Jim Fry and Don Zimmer. They're from the old baseball school. They're good, fair people, and they're honest, and they have a lot of integrity. So I was lucky to play for those two guys. But it was just a great opportunity for me to be traded. It was a case where the Cubs had a lot of young pitchers, and they weren't really sure what direction they wanted to go with me, whether to be a starter or a reliever or a middleman, and I just kind of got shuffled back and forth there for the last couple of years. And when I went to the Dodgers, they just knew, hey, we want you to be in our bullpen. We saw what you did in the bullpen in Chicago, and we think you can help our team as a reliever. So I knew what my role was going to be, and it was a role that I've had a lot of success in, and that just made it a lot easier.
Now, going to the lights in the big city from Chicago, this has to be a real plus, where you've got, you got big name people like Gretzky and Magic and all that stuff being there. And how long after the trade was it from the time you left Chicago till the time you played your first game in Los Angeles?
Well, it was about 11 or 12 days. When I joined the team in Pittsburgh, it was on an 11-game, 10-day road trip. So my first couple weeks with the Dodgers were on the road, and then once we got back to LA, we had a day off and kind of got organized to get a place to live, basically. And then once I got to LA, it was kind of a thrill to get back there, because it was right in the heat of the pennant race. Atlanta was getting ready to come in for a big series, and so it was really exciting. The Dodger Stadium was sold out, and it was a thrill that time. When you're right in the middle of the pennant race, it's so much fun to go to the ballpark. So every day, you're at the park early, and it's exciting to go there.
Who did you room with when you first went to LA?
I had my own room.
Your own room?
Yeah, in most of the teams in the major leagues now, you basically have a roommate your first year, or your first or second year in the big leagues. So when I was with the Cubs in my first season, Mark Grace was my roommate. So after that season, then Mark and I both were able to have our own rooms.
Any predominant players with the Dodgers that really took you under the wing more or less and then really made you feel at home?
Yeah, there's Bobby Ojeda is a super nice fella, and he kind of took me under his wing. Oral Hershiser, my locker was right next to Oral Hershiser, so he made quite an impression on me, and we got a chance to talk quite a bit. There's a good group of people over there, a lot of really nice guys, and I was always. It was one of those cases when I got to play with Darryl Strawberry. I was wondering at first, I wasn't wondering how I was going to feel about him because, as playing against the Mets when I was with the Cubs for those few years, we had a pretty good rivalry, and I didn't really care for him too much, at that time. But he's a super nice guy also.
Now, what's the difference in stadiums going from Chicago to playing there, where we know the spectators have a little bit of a time to go strain sometimes, going to LA Dodgers?
I think the major difference is I think Chicago has a little bit more atmosphere, because the stadium's so old and the fans are right on top of the field, and it's got that nice feel to a lot of character with the ivy on the wall once it grows in. And Dodger Stadium doesn't have that, but the one thing about Dodger Stadium is it's just a better park to pitch in. It's bigger, there's more foul territory. The mound is probably the best mound in the National League, whereas Wrigley Field's mound was probably the worst. Wrigley Field, in the summertime, once the weather warms up, the ball just flies out of the park. And that was the big difference for me, was going to a park is just a big pitcher's park. A good park to pitch in from a park that's a bad pitcher's park.
That's a big plus. Tell us the day that you first got there, you look around, you've just got to be astounded, and with all this stuff that's going on. What would the day in the life of a pitcher be, from start to finish?
Well, I'll tell you the day in the life of a relief pitcher is for me, in my case, is a little bit different from a starting pitcher, but almost the same. We usually go to the park. If we're at home in Los Angeles, I get to the park around 2 o'clock or so, and then around 2:45 to 3:30, we usually have early batting practice with extra players, guys on the bench, the guys that aren't regulars. So relief pitchers, we usually go out and shag for the extra men, and then we come in and we usually get to shag in our shorts and t-shirts, so it's kind of fun doing that too. So then we come back in and we change into our BP uniform. Then we go out for regular BP, usually 3:30 to 4:30, 4:45 or so. And then once BP is done, pitchers will do the running in the outfield, and then we have time to come into the clubhouse, and the other team, the visiting team, takes their batting practice as a time when we'll do our weight work, our light dumbbell exercises for the rotator cuff, and do any extra, stationary bike or Versa climber machine, that type of extra conditioning. And then you basically go in and change into your game uniform. After the visiting team takes BP, you go out for outfield practice. You come back in, and then you got a little bit of time to go in and relax and get out to the bullpen for the national anthem.
A lot of people wouldn't think that. A lot of people would think you just go to the park, you put your gear on, you go out and you have an infield batting practice and go at it. And that's a real difference.
Yeah, people are surprised that when you tell them how early you get to the ballpark, that it turns out to be, you're at the ballpark about 9 or 10 hours a day, for a regular 9-inning game, and if it goes into extra innings, sometimes longer. So it's like a regular job. You don't show up. A lot of people, think that you do show up to the park maybe an hour before the game starts and just kind of change and get out there and start. Yeah. So no, it's a long day, and there's a lot of involvement. If you've got any kind of nagging injury, you even get there earlier for treatment from the training staff and or the rehab person.
Okay, now it must have been rough going to the Dodgers because you were traded, I believe it was September the 6th, and the cutoff deadline is September the 1st, knowing that if the Dodgers had made the race right down to the wire, that you would be there, but you couldn't be a real actual participant being on field.
Yeah, it was really tough because for a time there it looked the Dodgers were in the understanding that I was going to be able to play during the playoffs because Jay Howell was a question mark, and that if he was not able to play, if he was to remain on the disabled list, I would be able to take his place. But I guess there's a stipulation where if you're not on the 40-man roster of the Dodgers organization at September the 1st, then you can't play. Even though I was on the 40-man roster of the Cubs, I had to be on the Dodgers 40-man roster. So once we found out for sure, it was a bit of a letdown. But just to try and, at that point, I just said, well, if I can contribute any part to helping us win the pennant, that'll be, enough.
Now, you left L.A. after the season finished. You went to for winter ball? Where'd you go and play?
I went down to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and played in the Puerto Rican winter leagues.
And you were saying that's a big sport down there.
It's a really big sport in Latin America. Baseball's the #1 sport, and basketball's gotten pretty big in Puerto Rico, but baseball's still the game that everyone plays.
And what's the duration of your season? You left early to come back home and visit the family, naturally, but the baseball season's pretty well all winter long.
Pretty much. You get down there around the end of October, and you start your first game right around November the 1st, and it's about a 50-game schedule. And then they have a hockey-type format for the playoffs. They have the top 4 teams, and you play a round-robin 12 games, and then they take the last 2 teams, and you play a best-of-9. So the playoffs actually would be going quite an extension of the season. So I left a little bit early, got permission from the Dodgers so that we could come home to Canada to see our families.
The biggest thing that I was quite intrigued with, and I was talking to your dad about different things that you've done over the course of the season, is the time you spent when you were actually shaking Sosha off. I hear that Pete and your mom were a little bit quite fanatical. They couldn't believe that you were shaking Sosha.
Yeah, it was a funny story. I was talking with my dad on the phone about a couple weeks after I'd been with the Dodgers, and my brother has a satellite dish at his home, and they'd go home in the evenings and try to catch any Dodger games they could. And they were watching the game, and I was shaking off Mike Sosha, our catcher. No, I don't want to throw the pitch. No, I don't want to throw the pitch. So my dad and brother were getting pretty frustrated, thinking, why is he shaking off Sosha? He's the best catcher in the National League. And so when I phoned them after the game, they kind of got all over me for shaking him off, and I said, no, wait a second, he's telling me to shake. So they were like, oh, sorry.
Well, that adds a little bit of humor to the whole world of baseball. It's got to be rough on the family now that you've just got a new addition to it, and your dad's you got Katie and Andrew, nicknamed Bam Bam by your dad, I believe. But it's got to be a big adjustment on the family.
It's tough. It's really tough on the wife. You know, we're on the road 10 days sometimes, and you come home for a few, and then you're on the road again. And so it takes a lot of commitment from your wife, and understanding that she has a little bit extra to do during those times, and that she has to kind of cater to the baseball schedule and my having to be ready for pitching every night. And basically there's no days off during the season. You may get 1 day off a month every now and then, and a lot of times it may come on the road. So you don't get a lot of time where you can go out like a regular person and say, well, let's take the morning and go play with the kids. And now I have to kind of just take it easy during the day in case of having to pitch that evening. So there's a lot of understanding and a lot of sacrifice on the wife's part to be the wife of a baseball player. And
that's
you know, as a
kid,
especially when the kids grow a little bit older, it's going to be tougher on them.
Well, there's nothing worse than growing up and having the kids grow up and not be there when they do certain things, because I've gone through that traveling around myself, and that's a real adjustment on the family.
Yeah.
What's your role going to be with the Dodgers this year?
Well, they've told me that I'm going to be one of the people in the bullpen again this year. The 2 lefties will be John Candelaria and myself, and I'll probably just have the same role that I did the last part of last year, just 6, 7, 8th innings. Candelaria will be the closer for a lefty, and I'll be a setup man, type of a middle reliever, and I'm really happy with that.
You like that role?
I love that role. That's a role that I've
clutch
had.
Situations, though.
It's not much different from being a closer, except you're coming in the 7th inning instead of the 9th inning. Usually you come into a close game. Usually you got some guys on base, and you got to try to get over the jam and try and keep the game close, whether you're behind by 1 or 2 runs or ahead.
Now you leave here another week, well, actually a couple days, I guess, and you go to. Are you going back to Phoenix from here?
We're going to go back to Phoenix, and I'll have a couple weeks there to throw and keep my arm in shape, and then we're going to head to Florida for spring training.
Now you're going to Dodger City, first time. I know from what my aunt and uncle back there have told me, it's just a gorgeous complex. Have you heard anything about it?
Well, I'm really looking forward to it because from what I've heard, it's a beautiful facility, but they have all types of activities for your family, for the wife and for your children, all during spring training. One thing about the Dodge organization I noticed as soon as I got there was Mr. O'Malley, the owner, is very family oriented. So they'll have Christmas in Dodgertown. They fly in snow for the kids to play in. They have hay rides and movies every night at the complex. They bring in the big slides that you slide down with a potato sack. They bring that in a couple times a week for the kids. So there's always things happening for your family and for your children, and that's a really neat. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's a real big plus. Now, spring training, how long is it going to go for?
It usually lasts about 6 weeks. We report on the 21st. The position players report on the 24th or 25th. And we usually play until about March the 6th or 7th, and then you start your games, and you usually have about a 26, 30 game schedule during the spring. And then I think with the Dodgers, you leave spring training a little bit early and you head to California. I think they play exhibition series with the Angels in Los Angeles.
Now, for all our viewing audience at home, got a ball, naturally. Want to find out, because your dad said you're working on a split finger fastball.
Oh.
We'll show you an adjustment, or you can show the kids at home the big difference in some of the throws.
Well, I wasn't. My dad was kind of incorrect there. I wasn't working on a split-fingered fastball in winter ball. I was actually just working on a different grip. I had always thrown my fastball basically 4 seams when I had thrown inside to a right-handed batter. When you throw four seams like this, the ball stays straighter. And when you throw to a right-handed batter, the last thing I wanted to do was have the ball move back to the middle part of the plate. So that's why I threw it 4 seams, so that it would stay inside and not run back. Well, the Dodgers teach you to throw a 2-seam fastball, which I threw to the other side of the plate so it would tail away. They teach their pitchers to throw the 2-seam fastball so you have the extra movement to both sides of the plate. So the thing I needed to go down to winter ball and learn was to throw the 2-seam fastball to start it in, so that when it ran back, it would run back to the inside corner.
Who was the teacher you had down there?
Claude Osteen, who pitcher with the Dodgers in the 60s and had about a 17-year major league career. Was a left-handed pitcher with, had a good career.
One question that people want to know is, if you're a left-handed pitcher, do they have left-handed instructors? And if you're a right-handed pitcher, would they have a right-handed instructor?
Well, at the major league level, there's only one pitching coach, and whether he's right-handed or left-handed, he has to try to adapt to be able to coach both. And fortunately for me, the big league pitching coach in Los Angeles is Ron Peranowski, who was one of the top relievers during the 60s in the National League, and he pitched with the Dodgers, and he's left-handed. And I think one of the big adjustments I made when I got there was he moved me from the first base side of the rubber to the third base side. And for some reason, it really helped. And so hopefully, with the adjustment on my fastball and some of the other things I can learn from Ron, and it can make me a better pitcher.
Now, throughout your whole career, all the way through minor ball and all the way up to pro ball, but we'll talk to the minor level right now. Anybody that you'd like to, more or less give recognition to that's helped you get where you are now?
Well, my dad is, the first guy that he coached me all the way through from the time I was old enough to hold a glove until the time I left to play college baseball. So he left a big impression on me as far as once he kind of taught me everything that he knew about the game.
Is he a tough critic?
He's a tough critic, no doubt about it. But the one thing that I got from him that you can't really teach is he kind of instilled in me a harder work ethic. He's a hard worker, and he taught me to work hard and to always give your best effort, to have a lot of heart and desire. And those are the things I kind of got from my dad more than anybody else. And if I had those characteristics, I don't think you can get to the big leagues. I think most of the players that get to the big leagues have to have those attributes.
Now, you've got a couple other brothers. You got a sister. Was it an adjustment on them growing up too when you were younger?
Well, it was really tough on my youngest brother and sister because from the time they were 11 or 12 years old, I basically haven't even been at home. So they've missed having one of their big brothers around all the time. So that was hard. It was hard on me to miss my little brother growing up, playing sports in the summertime, and I haven't seen him play a baseball game, in 11 or 12 years. So that's kind of hard. But it's nice when you come back home and you do get all that time away. It seems like when you come home, you're closer, I guess.
It's a really valuable time when you come back home. Now, you went to the Blackhawk game last week.
Yeah.
Took a whole crew of people to the Blackhawk game.
Yeah, we went with my family. Went out to watch the Canucks play against the Blackhawks and see some of my friends from Chicago. And it was nice to see the Canucks, the way they play this year. Is nice difference.
You've got to be shocked in them.
Well, it's not shocking. It's just it's really more. I'm really happy for them and the organization, the people there. They've been building this team for a few years, in the building process, and now everything's starting to, the pieces of the puzzle have started to come together, and I was just really impressed with the club.
They're really turning it around. I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day today, because I know you're a busy guy. I know it's not just that you want to come in town and just visit people all the time, because I know what it's like when you have to go back and visit relatives all the time. But I really appreciate you taking your time out and joining us on the sports channel here.
No problem. It's my pleasure, Steve.
Thanks.
Okay,
Dave.
no problem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. John Philtooth. Tonight, a very special guest, Mr. Doug Wilson, a very familiar face around the Lower Mainland, involved primarily with baseball. His son Steve has just been traded as of last year, September 6th, to the LA Dodgers from the Chicago Cubs. Congratulations, Dad.
Thank you. We're pleased for him, and he's very pleased. It's a great opportunity and a great organization, and he's working with some veterans. Hopefully he has a real good year.
He's spent a lot of years working with Dad, too, I would take it, eh? There's been a lot of cold mornings, and where I'm going with this, I imagine the family had to make a lot of adjustments to Steve's career once it began taking off. No different than the adjustments you make for the other children. Understand you've got, what, 3 sons and a daughter?
Yeah, 3. Yeah, you had to make adjustments. I think the biggest adjustments were while he was in university. The cost factor and not being able to work down there, get any income, so that in its own way had a tendency to make it a bit of a strain to meet his financial commitment and provide him with the pocket money and stuff he would need just for books, etc., the things that his scholarship didn't cover. It kind of has a tendency to maybe cut back a little bit in the other kids. They all stayed very active in sports, but they maybe didn't get quite the little extra treat they might have gotten, add that requirement. Once he signed professionally, it was quite a bit easier because he was starting to earn an income, even though it wasn't that high his first few years in the minors. He still had an income, so that took the strain off. That helped a lot.
The brothers and the sister now, they're also involved in sport. Were they as supportive? As you indicated, there were some things that they didn't get because Steve required them.
Yeah, there's no jealousy or animosity. They're extremely supportive of their brother.
A little bit of sibling rivalry.
No, but they're also his biggest critics. He will never, ever, at least as far as our family goes, become anything more than just a brother that can be pushed around like any other brother. So it's good that way.
Super. I have not had the pleasure of meeting Steve personally. It's my understanding that the recent success he's enjoyed has not changed him much. People tell me he's a pleasant, very affable young man, the same as he was many years ago.
Yeah, I don't think personality-wise he's changed at all. He's grown up. He's become more mature, which he has to. I mean, he's got a couple children, but as a person, he still cares about other people, cares about what he's doing and what his involvement is, and he's always been that way. Cares about his family and his brother and sister, and it's good. Watching my 2 oldest boys used to fight, but watching them also become each other's best fans, but also each other's best friend, as well as being brothers, was, I think, one of the most rewarding things I've ever watched. That was a treat.
Kind of gives you butterflies in your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they're good brothers, but they're also each other's
best friend.
Best among their best friends, if not each other's best friend, and that they can be that close and still have their differences, and I enjoy that.
The father couldn't ask for any more. Now, your 2 younger sons are also involved in baseball?
Yeah, Peter lives on his own. He's an electrician. He plays men's ball, and I'm coaching my youngest boy right now. He's 16 this year. My daughter is first year university, and sports has kind of gone by her, and she's into her studies. But she plays softball and volleyball and girls sports too, so they've all been pretty active.
And Dad's still involved wholeheartedly, eh?
Oh, yeah, yeah. If I gave up hockey and had to stay at home all winter, my wife either end up divorcing me or stabbing me. I don't know which. You know, she's so used to me being out of the house, and it's good. It gives me my space, it gives her her space, so it's worked out well.
It sounds an awful lot like you've got it down to a fine science, but after practicing for approximately 20 years, I guess that's the culmination. A lot of hard work goes into it too, in making things work with a family in which there's an individual that becomes a professional in sports.
Yeah, I think they need your support and your criticism, but I think they need more your support, not only from his mother and myself, but as the other people in the Lower Mainland. he's been involved with an awful lot of people through baseball, too numerous to mention, who not only have been supportive in a coaching way and advice, but they've been friends too. And any of them see him at spring training or see him when he's home. He really enjoys it. And so we had a lot of help. I mean, you get your stuff at home, but we had a lot of help from guys that are school teachers involved with baseball, guys that were involved in the select program, guys that live out in Tawasin used to coach them, and they still, whenever they see Steve, they talk, they go for dinner, and I think that it's a thrill for him when he runs across somebody that's down south on business, and they're at the park. He just lights up. I mean, he's just thrilled to death to see them. Well,
you and your family have given an awful lot to the sports community in the area and out of the area. It's I wish we had a few more people like yourself.
Well, I think there's an awful lot of people I know who've been involved in a lot of sports for a long time. They just haven't had the fortune or misfortune of having a son that has had a degree of success.
The ambiguity there between,
there's people who have been involved with minor sports, hockey, lacrosse, baseball, all of them for years and years. And I mean, outstanding community people in Vancouver that haven't had the opportunity. Like I say, if they had a son that became a pro hockey player or Major League Baseball player, probably people would realize the years they've been putting in different aspects. And my fortunately for me, I know a lot of these people and over the years, and it's you know, it's my wealth and my family's, but it's my wealth and my son's wealth that we know these people and they've been supportive and you know.
You couldn't ask for much more, could you?
No, you really couldn't. It's I have no complaints outside the fact I haven't won the lotto. Life's been pretty decent to me.
I have the same sentiments exactly, and yet we still both keep buying tickets, don't we?
We do, we ever.
Thank you very much. My guest, Doug Wilson, and we'll have an upcoming interview with Steve Wilson. Steve Erickson's going to do that for us. Join us for the upcoming hockey game soon. John Filtooth, my guest, Doug Wilson, thank you very much,
Thanks,
Doug.
John. Take care.
It usually begins here, in a driveway with a backboard and a brand new basketball. You pretend that you share this special place with the likes of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. And during those brief moments with your heroes, you feel like making the shots that you've only dreamed about. Many years later, you step onto an empty court. You're a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and you remember that first time in your dad's driveway. Concentration is the key. Your mom's going to be in the crowd tonight. It's on television, everywhere. And you have 15 minutes to put it all behind you. Live from the campus of Trinity Western University in Langley, Rogers 4 Sports presents the 20th Annual British Columbia AA High School Boys Basketball Championships. Tonight's consolation final features the Comox Highland Raiders and the St. George's Saints from Vancouver as they battle to decide who is third and fourth best in the province of BC. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ozzie Owens, and welcome to our first year here at the BC AA Championships. For the next 4 hours, you're going to see the best that high school basketball has to offer at this level, and then around 11 o'clock tonight, we're going to see the best team in BC hold this trophy up high and parade it around for the 20th time in this tournament's history. And if you saw our coverage last weekend up at SFU, we covered the AAA championships. Actually, the AAA finals is what they were. And the teams of Pitt Meadows, North Delta, Abbotsford, and Port Coquitlam were all big winners as they went on to their bid in the BC AAA championships, which are coming up next weekend at the P&E Agridome in Vancouver. We'll talk more about that tournament later in this broadcast. Tonight's championship finals are for the first time in their 20-year history being transmitted live over the entire Rogers Cable TV network. And also tonight, we're being picked up by the community TV stations of Delta and Shaw Cable TV, and we thank them, and we thank you for being part of this historic broadcast in high school basketball. Time now to introduce the rest of tonight's broadcast team. They are the men who, in fact, will be calling tonight's game. And they're also going to have a chance to sit down and chat with some of the players and find out exactly what's going on in their heads for tonight's championship finals. And you got to think that these young basketball stars are pretty keyed up tonight indeed. Your play-by-play announcer this evening, once again, is the very capable Mr. Rich Lodwick. And your color commentator tonight is our very own Steve Erickson. And joining Steve is the coach of the SFU men's basketball team. His name is Jay Triano. And now for their comments on tonight's game, let's go behind me and Mr. Rich Lodwick.
Thank you, Ozzy, and it is indeed a special dream for every high school basketball player to reach the championships, and we're excited, and it's our pleasure to be able to bring that to you right here from Trinity Western University. And tonight, 4 live hours of great basketball action. We start with a consolation final, the Comox Highland Raiders against the St. George's Saints. And Steve Erickson, you'll be talking about the Comox Highland Raiders in just a few minutes, but we start with Jay Triano. And Jay, let's start with the St. George's Saints, a good, solid ball club who have earned their way here tonight.
Well, they've played some very good basketball so far in this tournament. They've a solid team. They proved they played a real tough game last night against DW Poppy, and they're a good basketball team, and Coach Dave Wilson's done a great job with them and carried them a long way this year.
The Saints got here by playing good fundamental basketball. They defeated Kitimat 111-90. Then they defeated Garibaldi 95-82, and they lost to DW Poppy, which we'll see in a couple hours, 72-83. Some players to watch out for tonight. Some of the good, solid high school basketball players in BC, starting with Doug Bodell, a 6'2" forward.
Well, Doug's averaging 18 points a game for them. He's their best all-round player. I think he's very quick, and he'll guard the best player on the opposition team. The other player, Jeff Krushank, he's their floor leader. He's a 5'10" guard. He makes great passes, and he'll hit a crucial three-pointer when you need one.
And Roger Hagar, 6'2" forward.
Roger does everything well for them. He plays tough defense, and he'll look to score baskets and pass the ball inside to the next player, who's Doug Grant. Doug Grant is their inside player. He's an excellent post player, and he rebounds very well for them. And Doug looks to seal up the inside game for St. George's.
And there they are. Also another starter is Mike O'Callaghan, the St. George's Saints, and their head coach, David Wilson. Speaking of David Wilson, we had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier, and he shared his thoughts with us on tonight's big game.
Well, we had a pretty disappointing game last night, and the guys were a little emotional, but I don't have too much of a problem. It's most of these guys' last game, and they're pretty proud characters, and I think they're going to want to go out with a bit of a bang. So I'm hoping that the fact that it is their last game, and a lot of grade 12s in the team, that they're going to give it their all, because it'd be a real shame to have to lose your last 2 games. It's nice to be able to win your last high school basketball game, and I'm hoping that that's going to be the ticket. Some of these guys, they're pretty proud, and they're disappointed last night. It's going to be tough, but I think if we come out and play defense and work hard, that we'll be okay, and I think that they're going to do that. They're going to respond. I'm not worried. I think we'll be ready for it, and we'll go out there and we'll give it all we have.
David Wilson in his 4th year, and he would like a win tonight. Let's talk with Steve Erickson about the Comox Highland Raiders, and they're a team that you know pretty well.
Yeah, I do. Coming from the Comox Valley and still having my mom and dad live over in the Comox Valley. The Highland School has been in its inception for about 14 years now. Mr. Peterson's been coaching ever since the school opened up. They're a good team. They finished 8th in the province last year. They're looking for a better record. They come over here with a lot of expectations. They wanted to get first, but unfortunately, because of the way the draw went and all that, they didn't play as well as they thought. So right now they're looking for 3rd or 4th.
Let's follow the road then for the Raiders to this game. They defeated Grand Forks 79-57, defeated Vanderhoof can get it right, 78-65, and then they lost to Agassiz. We'll see Agassiz in a couple of hours. They lost that one 67-74. Some key players now to watch out for.
Some key players. We got Colin Cunningham, number 10. He's averaging 31 points a game, 6'3". He's a real good, solid player. They want a lot of good stuff from him.
And they got Mike Evans, number 12. He's a 6-foot guard.
Mike Evans, guard, he's averaging 8 points a game. They're expecting a lot more, and in their own local community over there, he's been averaging about 13, 14 points a game.
And David Wang, he's a 6-foot senior. He can light it up as well.
He can. David Wang, they said he's got good explosive capabilities, and they expect him to go wide, but he's all-around team player as well.
And Steve Clark rounding things off, and those are just some of the players to watch on the Comox Highland Raiders. And, you know, Steve, it's interesting, you know, as I try to get that name right before the game starts. Larry Peterson, their head coach, quite the story. We'll talk about him as the game goes along, but we did flag him down, and he talks about tonight's game for the Raiders.
What we're going to do is we're going to have to refocus. We got over here aiming for number one. Now that we've lost, we've got to decide whether we're going to settle for fourth or if we can settle for third. And the kids have been talking about medals, and there are medals for third and no medals for fourth, and that's a good sign already. So we're starting to refocus, and what we have to do then is just decide that fourth is not good enough, and we have to get out. We have to decide we're going to execute our offense or have patience on offense. We're going to have to get out, and we're going to have to dig in on defense, and we're going to have to be determined. Last year we were here and we were 8th in the province. This year we thought we were heading for number one. Now we're heading for number 3. And number 3 would now be acceptable. Number 4th, we have to forget that, or else it just won't happen. We will get 4th, and we will not be able to get 3rd. So we're going to dig in, and I think, as I say, the kids are thinking positively. We're going to go for those medals.
Larry Peterson, and the teams are ready. We're ready. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jay. We'll talk to you in just a few minutes. Let's toss it now back up to Ozzie Owens, who's standing by. Ozzie.
Well, thank you very much, Rich. You have the best seat in the house back there. Indeed, indeed. Okay, just a reminder that in 1 week from tonight, we will be down at the Peony Agridome to cover the BC AAA High School Boys Basketball Championships, the 43rd Annual AAA Championships. Unfortunately, we won't be able to bring them to you live, but if you check with your local cable company, they will tell you exactly when it will be broadcast in your area. Okay? My halftime guests for the first game will be Greg Lino, who is the coach of the DW Poppy Redhawks, and also Stuart Sony, who is the Agassiz Chieftains coach, and they are the coaches for tonight's championship final. We'll talk to them in the half. The opening tip-off is just around the corner. Coming up next live from the campus of Trinity Western University in Langley, we'll have the starting 5, the introductions for them in the consolation final.
Say hello to 4-year-old Laurel Buss. Like all children, Laurel has hopes and dreams. 2 years ago, Laurel dreamed of walking. That's because...
You're watching Rogers Community 4.
Western University, the site for the consolation game here in the British Columbia AA High School Basketball Championships. Things are starting to get rowdy here at Trinity Western. Rich Lodwick with Steve Erickson, Jay Triano here courtside. Hey, I'll tell you, this is what you wait all season for, and for these players, hey, it's finally arrived, and they got to be excited, Jay.
Well, they are excited. I think they're probably a little bit. They've gotten over the disappointment from last night, losing in the semi-final game, but they have to regroup. This is their final game of this year. This is what they've worked hard for all season long, and now they've got to perform again tonight, and the best they can do now is 3rd place.
Teams are warming up, as you can see now. Pre-game jitters, but once the game gets going, they should settle down, correct?
Well, that's right. I mean, the main thing is their preparation for this game. They've got to put last night out of their head. They've got to think about the game, and once the game gets started, that's what they will think about. They'll think about the plays that they've been running all year and executing the same way that they have all season long.
Now, you've played, you've coached at the high school level for AA. This is our first year televising it. That's got to be kind of a thrill for these guys to be on TV too.
Oh, definitely. Anytime that they see the TV cameras here, it's very important for them, and they want to perform well. They know people are watching them play, and every time you have an audience that you can perform in front of, you try to play the best of basketball you can play.
All right, thanks, Jay. Steve, moments away here. Hey, are you ready for 4 hours of live basketball? You're seeing it all right here on Rogers 4 Sports. We got a good one. Comox Highland Raiders against the St. George's Saints. Your thoughts, Steve?
Finally got you educated how to say that proper.
Right,
yeah, the air in this building is just electrifying. People are coming in, got a good crowd coming in. The players come out full court. They're really hungry for it. St. George's come out with their pregame. They're a little more enthused, I guess, in their pregame. The Comox team, Highland, is a little more laid back in their approach. But overall, I think we're really going to look for a real wide open game.
All right, now you know a little bit more about Comox than you do about St. George's. A quick comment on their team and what they've got to do right off the bat to stay in this game. You talked to them in the dressing room moments ago.
I was in the dressing room talking to David Wang, and David Wang promised me that they were going to get the first basket. He said, we're definitely going to come out. He said, we're going to really go positive. We've got to give 100%. He said, we come over, we shot for first. We didn't get that. He said, but we're going to go that way. A little bit of stats about the Comox team. I didn't know. Comox, they were #1 on the island. They're the tallest team in their league. There's 15 teams in their league. It's the second year undefeated. This year they're 30-11, and that's a real, real big plus for that team over there, and especially the Comox Valley. And congratulations for the boys for being here.
All right, thank you, Steve. And Jay, we're set to go, but let's first find out who the players are, and let's go to our public address announcer with the player introductions. Okay, we're ready. He apparently is not ready.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There he is. Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this, the 20th annual British Columbia High School Boys AA Basketball Championships. Tonight's first game, the consolation final for 3rd and 4th place in the province, featuring the visiting St. George's Saints. The starting 5 for the visiting St. George's Saints. At forward, #4, Doug Bodell. And now at guard, #11, Jeff Cruikshank. And now at forward, #22, Roger Hager. And now at center, #25, Doug Grant. And now starting at forward, #33, Mike O'Callahan. And the head coach, David Wilson.
Okay, boys, let's go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the home team from Comox, the Highland Raiders, starting at forward at #5, Mike Eggerman. And now at forward, #10, Colin Cunningham. Starting at guard, #12, Mike Evans.
You guys go and join them out there. And good luck.
And now at the guard position, #21, David Wang. And now starting at the guard position, #22, Steve Clark. And the head coach, Mr. Larry Peterson. And there you have, for 3rd and 4th in the province. Have a good game, fellas.
All right, we are ready to rock and roll here. It's 4 live hours of high school basketball, starting with the consolation game, St. George's Saints against the Comox Highland Raiders. And we have Bodell, Cruikshank, Hagar, Grant, and O'Callaghan. And Eggman, Cunningham, Evans, Wang, and Clark for the Raiders. Your starting lineups. Our referees tonight are, Steve?
Referees tonight, referee from Vancouver, Dave Seaweed. Dave has been refereeing basketball for 7.5 seasons. And the other referee from the West Kootenay Nelson area, Bruce Fuhr. He's a gentleman on the far side from us right now. He's been refereeing basketball for 16 years.
All right, so we have Seaweed and Fuhr, our referees tonight. The AA Basketball Championship consolation game underway, and the Raiders are in the white with yellow and blue trim, and the Saints are in the black and red trim, and they have the ball on the turnover right off the bat, just underway first quarter. There's the three-point shot, it's good. Nothing but net, that's O'Callaghan. And now back the other way, here come the Raiders. Wang has it, and David Wang puts it in. It's tied up at 2.
Nice pass and play from Cunningham to Wang on that one.
Here's Mike O'Callaghan, and he puts it over to Roger Hagar. He misses, but the rebound's picked up on a heads-up play by Eggman. And Jay, you like to get off early by making some of those shots.
Well, you sure do. And that's Cunningham's second basket. And he is averaging 31 points a game. He is the key to the Highland team. He's a very, very good scorer. I saw it in the semifinal games, and he made a great move there on the baseline, pulling up for a jumper, making the contact, and draining the 2 points.
Oh, Cunningham early on putting on a show. Nice kiss off the glass, and he goes to the line for the three-point play. And that's off the top of the rim, and Doug Grant hauls it down. And Cruikshank setting up that offense. Doug Bodell has it knocked out of bounds, and it will remain Saints ball. A heads-up play in the corner by Steve Clark for the Raiders.
Good play by Steve to anticipate the shot there, and you got a hand on it.
Cruikshank falls down, picked up by the Raiders, and here they come. That's Cunningham again. That one doesn't fall for him. And back and forth we go. Hagar with it. Number 22 driving down the lane, dishes off nicely to Bodell, but coming out of nowhere, number 12 Evans.
A little bit of foul on that one. He was going down. Nice pass and play. Well executed. And there, see the replay right here. Here's the foul coming up right there. You can't do that. We all know that.
Bodell with the first shot. Scores 4-3, 8:41 left here in the first quarter. And Bodell makes the second one. And we're tied up at 4. That pressure by the Saints proving very effective, and press early on, Jay, something you would try?
Well, you know, it depends. I mean, St. George's has probably done it all year. They were effective with it last night, and Bodell is one of the best defensive players. Great athlete, has good hands. He puts a little bit of pressure on them. They turn it over.
Doug Grant back to Bodell. Inside it goes to Hagar, and Roger Hagar puts in 2, the 6'2 forward. We've got an all-senior lineup here for the Saints, and they have that 6-4 lead. Now that pressure again, another turnover, but this time the Raiders get lucky. It's knocked out of bounds. And we have a substitution coming into the game. Will be number 8. No, he's going to have a seat. Number 9, let's check that.
Yeah, Greg Taylor's coming into the game. Greg's going to help. They're bringing him early here to see if he can help break the press.
Cunningham, the turnaround, it doesn't go. The rebound is ripped down by Eggman. Eggman working good inside the boards. Now it goes back to Cunningham, and Cunningham's a little cold. That's about 3 shots he's missed in a row here. They're going to him, but he hasn't been able to get them to drop the last times down the court, and that's Bodell with a shot that rims in and out. Eggman again. Now here's that pressure by the Saints, and the Highland Raiders having trouble with it, and 10 seconds call.
The press has been very effective. It's a 2-2-1 press, and all they're trying to do, they're not trying to put a lot of pressure. They're trying to force them to slow down, and so far Highland's had a lot of problems with it. It's thrown the ball away twice and just about thrown it away another time.
Saints lead 6-4. And back again on offense. They can't get one to fall, and Cunningham hauls that rebound in. David Wang has it. He's being pressured. And now they finally get that offense set up. Taylor at the top. Taylor with Wang out there, and Evans. Cunningham with it. Cunningham gets it stripped away and picked up. Here we go. Cruikshank, Jeff Cruikshank, the 5'10 guard with it. And he'll slow it down. He'll pop for three. That's off the rim. Back the other way is Taylor, wide open, lays it up and in. No! Oh, a little premature on that. I gave him the bucket and he didn't make it.
He didn't make it. Boy, oh boy, you got more faith in him than he does.
Well,
nice steal back there. Cunningham lost the ball and Cruikshank just robbed him on it.
Well, am I blushing here? But Taylor will go to the line, but there you see it. You got to make those in a big game like this.
Well, I think what we're seeing is both teams are a little bit tight. They're missing easy shots, but that's natural in a third-place game. These teams are down. They're probably not as mentally prepared as would it be if they were preparing to play the 9 o'clock game tonight.
So Taylor makes the first free throw to cut it to a 6-5 lead. There you see the junior guard for the Highland Raiders. Can't get the second one. And Doug Grant with the defensive rebound. Saints with the 6-5 lead. 6:34 left first quarter. Oh, look at that back door wide open. Roger Hagar puts it in there. Somebody missed a defensive assignment, Jay?
Well, I'm not sure it was a defensive assignment miss. There's Jeff Cruikshank, very aware on the floor. I've seen him make some great passes in the semifinal game last night, which they lost. He played a very strong game. He distributes the ball very well. He made a great pass on that play.
Substitution coming, sorry, Steve. Substitution coming into the game, number 22's checking in. No, Steve Clark's been in there all the time. We'll get our back straight here. Set that lineup up for you. For the Raiders, we have Clark with Wang, Cunningham, and number 24 now checking in. That's David Morgan. That's the substitution. Cunningham hits another one. That Cunningham, if he gets hot, look out for the Raiders there. Eight to 7. We have a foul on Cunningham as Doug Grant tried to get inside position.
Doug Grant's really outstanding. He's really utilizing his size, being 6'5". He's taking full advantage at every chance he can.
Grant averaging 22 a game, and you see Cunningham with the foul. And Cunningham with the steal as we get back to the action. Here he goes, one-on-one. Spin move, lays it up, can't get it to fall, gets his own rebound and puts it back in. That's just determination. That's what coaches really want to see from their players.
Well, a player like Cunningham, too. I mean, he's one of the top players in the province. He can score very well, inside and out. He'll step out and I'm sure he'll hit a three-pointer before the night's out. He's got his hand on a couple of balls and knocked them away already.
The Raiders with the 9-8 lead now. Raiders in white, the Saints in black. 5:20 left, first quarter. That's Doug Grant. Grant to Bodell. Bodell spins, moves, but can't get it to fall, but the ball's checked out. It'll remain Saints ball, and David Wilson off the bench yelling at his team, trying to get them to run that offense.
Both teams right now a little bit sloppy with the basketball, and they're missing easy shots, and I don't know whether that's nerves playing in the third place game or just the defensive pressure that these teams are putting upon each other.
Another steal for Cunningham. He's been all over the court. He's pretty well been their main man so far in this one. We are early, though. Evans, he passed it over to Wang. David Wang is met by Roger Hagar, and he swats that one out of bounds.
It's got to be a case of nerves right now. Both teams have to be very nervous. They're playing more defensive, and they're really not taking full advantage of all opportunities they have.
The long inbounds pass, it goes to Cunningham, and Cunningham, the underhand finger roll, and it drops, and it's 11-8 with the Raiders holding that lead. And the Raiders get 2 more from Doug Grant. That's just a nice offensive play.
That is a good seal by Doug. Doug held his man, got the ball in the post, and took it up strong.
No team able to pull away so far in this one. And great defense there. Now Wang is met there by Hagar.
Steve Clark looked like he was in a little bit of a slipping position down there when he was going down the floor.
Okay, the foul's on Hagar. And I believe that's his first. Check that. That's his second. And we have substitutions. Checking in for the Saints is Hanley Rollins. And the Raiders having trouble, but they do get that shot. Steve Clark.
Great tip in by Wang. Throws him down the lane there. He read the ball coming off the rim, got up in the air, got his hand on it, tipped it in the basket.
Now back the other way. Bodell wasting absolutely no time. Puts it right back. It's 13-12. The Raiders with that lead, and now that pressure by the Saints again. Cunningham. Cunningham, Wang, Morgan, Steve Clark. And Mike Evans, the lineup for the Raiders, and we have a stoppage in play. It'll be Raiders ball as Steve Clark's going to inbounds it. And he throws that one right to Doug Grant. Grant gives it back up to Cruikshank. And now back, this is getting a little sloppy here, Jay. I don't think both coaches like this too much. Back and forth, turnovers left and right. 3:16 left first quarter. There's David Wang. Wang, inside it goes. Morgan couldn't get the shot to fall, and there's bodies flying everywhere. And finally, the foul is going to be called, and I believe O'Callaghan will get called for it.
Sheer determination out there by the Comox team. They're going after every chance they can.
He missed the shot here. I think what happens is they both end up down on the floor. The referee, to prevent any kind of injury from happening, calls a jump ball here.
No foul, a jump ball then.
Good call. Safety's got to come first for the players, Jay.
Cunningham picks it up, spins, makes the move, can't get the shot to go, but the rebound, they get it again, third chance, fourth chance, and finally, it's picked by the Saints, and they go back the other way, and a foul called on Mike Evans, the 6-foot guard. He wants to become an engineer, this Evans fella, and his sports hero is Randall Cunningham of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we'll be throwing out some of those little tidbits throughout the game. Doug Bodell to Grant. That's a little high for him, but it's saved nicely. Now it's stolen away by Wang. Here comes David Wang. Dishes inside, but a foul's called. As Steve Clark tried to put it in there, but before he got the shot off, foul is called.
33 blocked.
2:44 left the first quarter, 13-12. The Raiders with the lead. Steve, your thoughts early on here as we near the end of the first quarter. Perhaps the nervousness setting in a bit here in the first quarter.
Still an awful lot of nerves. Comox has got a lot more determination right now. They're going for the second and third chances. But St. George's are really utilizing the long lead passes.
It's David Morgan with 2. Morgan coming off the bench has done a pretty good job. Now back the other way, the Saints. That's Doug Grant, lays it up and in. Good offensive rebound for Grant.
Grant goes to the boards consistently all the time, and he's proven to, I think he's probably got 5 rebounds already in the first quarter here.
Colin Cunningham for 3. It's too hard off the rim. Now, back again goes Morgan, and called for the foul. James Daniels, who's checked into the game. We have a substitution for the Saints. And now we got a timeout. We got a timeout on the court with the score 15-14. The Highland Raiders leading the St. George's Saints here at Trinity Western. And we're bringing this all to you live. Following this one, of course, D.W. Poppy from Langley and the Agassiz Chieftains. Should be another good one.
That should be a great game. I know they've had a great rivalry all season. And
if it's not there, don't force it. Play smart. We can't afford for that. You want to know something? We've had chances to put this team away, but you guys are playing stupid and keeping them in the game. Your defense is not there. Now, we got it out of our system. Now we're 8 minutes into this game. Last night's over with. If you want the game, you got to go out and you got to work a hell of a lot harder than you are on defense. And you got to play smarter.
Coach David Wilson. He doesn't feel they're playing with as much determination as they should be. He feels they've got to be a lot more aggressive in his action. Go towards it.
Defensively,
Just be overall, don't be really careful.
You're on 4 now.
He was talking about
You're
defense
still
there
on 11.
too. And
you guys, well, we'll soon find out. You guys run the triangle the best you can. Help each other. Make sure one guy's in pistol. Make sure one guy's in pistols. You got that? All right, here we go.
All right. Okay, Larry Peterson, and before that you heard David Wilson and assistant Rob McCall of the Saints. There you have it, 15-14, 2 minutes left first quarter. Going to the line is David Morgan, the 6'4" forward, and he'll be back next year again. I'm sure Larry Peterson's happy about that.
yeah, you'd like it when those big guys come back, and he's had a successful game so far inside for them here.
And Morgan makes the first one. He'll try for 2. And we have a 16-14 game. Crookshank to Bodell. Bodell works it inside, but Cunningham says, "Hey, Doug Grant, how you doing, big guy? Welcome to this game." He greets him there with the swat. And Cunningham misses that one. Back the other way, Grant's wide open, lays it open in. And
That's a good call.
He called the trouble, yeah.
It was a good call. Very good call by the referee right beside him. Nice and alert.
There's been 11 turnovers in this ball game. As you see it again, and I guess you can call this number 12. Cunningham to David Wang. Wang goes up. Chipped in. No, it's not. I'm giving these guys too much credit. The play has been a little sloppy on the offense.
That's okay. The people in the Comox Valley will end up watching this. They won't mind that at all.
It's 16-14 and 12 turnovers in 1 quarter. Steve, you can't be happy with that as a coach.
No, as a coach, you've really got to be disillusioned about the amount of turnovers. You've got to play a lot more cautious. You don't want to create a turnover situation. You want to have a little more possession of it, be a little more careful. You know, just regroup yourselves and get your train of thought together.
Well, that's 12 total turnovers, so that's average of about 6 a team, because I think it's been pretty well balanced out. Jump ball there. Doug Grant working heavy. Morgan with the defensive rebound. He gets it to Clark. Steve Clark, the 6'2" guard, and he's fouled.
22 black.
And the foul's going to go on Hagar, Roger Hagar. Let's set up that Saints lineup for you. We have Doug Bodell, Roger Hagar, Jeff Cruikshank, Michael Callaghan out there, as well as number 25, Doug Grant, the starting 5. Back the other way, here are the Raiders. Number 14, Jody Arthur into the game. Wang takes the 3-pointer. And Bodell comes back with it to Cruikshank. 42 seconds left first quarter. Cruikshank driving, dishes. And it is Raiders ball. Raiders will go for that last shot. 30-second clock. There's a 7-second differential here. Jody Arthur back to David Wang. Wang dribbles, dishes, but can't get it to the intended receiver, Steve Clark, there, as we pull one out of the old football jargon.
They were trying to feed either Clark or Wang any chance they can, but sometimes they're not capitalizing on their chances.
21 seconds left. Jeff Cruikshank, look at that. Nobody covers him. He puts it up and lays it in.
Great move at the top there by Jeff. Jeff made a nice crossover move, took it to the basket, and made the layup.
Now with 8 seconds left, David Morgan back the other way.
4 seconds, they gotta hurry.
And Cruikshank didn't realize how much time was left. That's going to do it for this first quarter. The Raiders with the 2-point lead at 18-16 here at Trinity Western. And Ozzie Owens is standing by, and Ozzie has a special guest.
Well, thank you very much, Rich. We got lots of basketball action out there, but I'm sitting with the Trinity Western Spartans. They are the BCCAA 1992 men's volleyball champions, and the captain is Dwight Unraw. And Dwight, you're telling me there's something really special about this medal and this banner.
Well, this banner is going to be the first one that Trinity is going to have the honor of hanging up. In the history of the school, I think it's been around about 30 years. And in fact, right now, the girls team are probably headed back. Hopefully they will be winning as well. So it could be like 2 in 1 year. And we're pretty pumped. Hey, guys?
Yeah. So you're telling me this is the first time that this school has ever won anything. Is that right?
We came so close last year. Our coach, Ron Pike, sitting over there, was playing last year. And this year he's coaching. We came in second last year, just a little short. This year, we knew that this was the year to do it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it this year. And,
well, congratulations. Looks good on you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. All right, back to Rich and our basketball game. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Ozzie. And Trinity Western, their athletic director, Murray Hall's got to be happy about this. Finally, the Spartans get to put up a banner in their gymnasium, and there you see our action here, 18-16. Steve?
A little bit of insight into that volleyball championship there. It's the first time ever, as we alluded to earlier, they won the provincials at CBC in Abbotsford. They're going to the nationals later on in Prince George. Trinity Western come in first, Douglas come in second, CBC come in third, and VCC come in fourth place.
We wish him the best. Second quarter action underway here. That's Colin Cunningham for 3. He can't get that one. Gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. Jay, you got to wonder about the lax defense on that.
Well, Doug Grant, I think, is trying to play him to make an outside shot before he stops him inside. And Doug's not as quick as Colin on the perimeter and had a problems boxing out there.
Raiders have that 4-point lead, and they retained the ball after that charging call. Second quarter action here. David Wang's done a good job bringing that ball up the court on that pressure. Steve Clark. Back it goes into David Morgan. Wang gets it. And what are they calling a jump ball? They're going to call Wang on the foul, right?
Yeah, he came over the back on the rebound there, and that's a good call.
It's a good call by the referee. Wang's a little overly aggressive on him. Wang, the one thing we've noticed out here, Jay, Wang seems to be the real team leader. He seems to be setting everything up from all perspective.
He is, and he's very quick, too, and he likes to penetrate. He goes in. He's made a couple of nice drives to the basket.
Well, you know, it says we have a basket's going to count. Cruikshank, oh, my. Hey, the little guy rumbling, stumbling, and he gets it to fall. Let's look at it again. This is a nice play.
Well, I think, Jeff, I mean, I've seen him play in the tournament, earlier games. He is the king of making the off-balance shots. He always seems to penetrate. He's left-handed. That throws a defender off a little bit, throws the ball up, and makes a lot of off-balance shots. And like I said earlier, he passes the ball extremely well.
And he makes that free throw. We have a 20-19 score here. David Wang with it to Steve Clark. Clark in trouble. And throws it away. Stolen nicely by Mike O'Callaghan. And here's Cruikshank back for more. Doug Bodell into Doug Grant. And getting it to fall. James Daniels, the 6'5" center. He'll be back next year. He's a junior. Now back the other way. Here comes Morgan. He puts it up and lays it in.
That's a good pass by Jody Arthur, and I was really amazed to watch him last night in the semifinal game. He was up and cheering the whole game, and I think he was the reason that Highland got back into the game. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but he was very instrumental on the bench.
And O'Callaghan had that one swatted away, and Clark picks it up. Clark, good dribbling. Gets it to Cunningham. Cunningham thinks about the shot. Gets it to David Wang. Wang sporting that interesting hairdo. Takes a shot. Morgan the rebound. Doug Grant with some nice heads-up play, and it goes back to Wang. He takes a shot, and it's off. Cunningham keeps it alive. Now he saves it inside to Clark. Back to Cunningham. And what are they going to call? They are calling the offensive foul on Colin Cunningham.
Wang will be pleased that you like his hairdo, Rich.
Yeah, He's sporting
just different.
He's sporting quite the hairdo indeed.
Talking to him in the dressing room before the game, even his teammates are giving him a little bit of a rough time.
That was the second foul on Cunningham, and he can't afford to get in any kind of foul trouble.
Oh, look at that! Jeff Cruikshank, he's putting on a show. This guy averaging 20 a game. He's a 5'10 guard, and he has come to play tonight. Cunningham dribbles and drives, has that swatted away. Bodell picks it up. Bodell had a wide open Cruikshank, but he couldn't get it to him. And now Daniels wide open underneath, but Bodell doesn't see him, but he'll take the shot. And the foul on Grant. We're going to take a look now real quickly here how the schools are classified. And Steve, why don't you run us through that?
Single A division is under 75 school boys playing in the school. Double A is under 200 and Triple A is over 200. So it's very conceivable you could have Double A actually better than Triple A basketball.
You certainly could, and I'm sure, Jay, there are some players in Double A that are, definitely contenders that could play for some of the Triple A teams.
Oh, definitely, and in our recruiting, we're looking for players. We look at players at the single A level. We look at players at the Double A level, and
so for you players at some of the smaller schools, just hang tough there and, play your best, and the scouts will notice you, right, Jay?
That's correct.
Back to the action. Cunningham dribbling through the lane. He has trouble hanging on to it, and Cruikshank picks it back up. The long pass goes to Doug Bodell, and he lays it up in there.
Coast to coast by Bodell, no problem at all. Made it look so easy.
Again, a great pass by Cruikshank. And Larry Peterson doesn't like the way things are going right here. We've seen a big turnaround, an 8-point swing here, and he wants a timeout and try to settle his team down a little bit.
Good smart move by Peterson. He's got to settle them down, get them back so they maintain their composure. The worst part about it now is if they get flustered and really get rushed, that's when they create turnovers and, they could really make a bad situation even worse.
Take any advantage. Instead, we're down 5. Rah-rah. Look after the ball. Number 1. Get it inside, number 2. Bury the shots, number 3, and then go back and play some defense. I can't do a thing, you guys. I'm just totally helpless sitting on the sidelines when you just give the ball up. You got to get it together here. Mike just said these guys are lousy. They're not very good. Well, what are we doing? Making them look good then? Well, come on. Let's go.
Do it. Well,
Coach Peterson not really pleased. Sounds like with any aspect of the way his team's playing, and they're throwing the ball away. They've gotten into an outside game, and they've got to look after the basketball. Like you said, they've got to get it inside. They've got Cunningham can go inside and score, and I think that's what they have to do. That's what they did early in the game, and they were successful.
Well, they had the lead. It just seemed that they seemed a little overconfident right now and just backed off.
27-22, the Saints with the lead. They were trailing in this one by 4, and they've regained the lead, and now lead by 5. There's the shot. It's off. That was taken by Evans, and now Cruikshank back, setting up that Saints offense. He just says, hey, I'll take that shot, but can't get it to go. The behind-the-back pass to Daniels, but Daniels did the old bunny hop in the old beehive.
I don't think Coach David Wilson was too impressed with the call, but it didn't look like it was too far-fetched from where we're sitting.
Clark is fouled by Bodell, but how do you think, Jay, they're handling that pressure overall?
Well, at first I thought it was a 2-2-1 press, but now it seems to be more of a matchup because I see them, it looks like a 1-2-2 or a 1-2-1-1 set to start, and they're trapping. They're not handling, Highland's having a hard time handling the press right now. It's taking them off their game, and they're, as their coach talked about in the timeout, they're throwing the ball away, and that's exactly why St. George's is pressing them.
Steve Clark can't get that one to drop. He's averaging 12 points a game. And the Saints, Doug Bodell wide open, puts it up and gets it to fall.
Nice pass by O'Callahan.
29-22, the Saints pulling away here. The Raiders got to get something going offensively. Wang has it stolen. And now Cruikshank has it intercepted by Steve Clark, who comes back. Clark has Wang with him. Clark will take it himself, throws it up. And
It was almost like a desperation move at the last minute there.
We have substitutions coming in. Number 23 checking in, Colin Arthur for the Raiders, and number 5 checking in for the Saints. Bodell into Grant. Grant's fouled right on the baseline.
Highland's done a pretty good job defensively on Grant. They've got a player in front, and every time we heard in the first time out, Larry Peterson said we needed somebody in pistols. What he's talking about is having a guy in the middle of the lane, and when the ball goes into Grant, that guy's coming over to help and go belly to belly with him, and they've been successful in stopping Grant offensively.
We're at Trinity Western University, 5:51 left in this second quarter. Good crowd for this championship game. It's packed here, and we are live.
And they're still coming in the front door.
You bet. That's Clark with it. Clark over to David Morgan. Back it goes to Clark, and Clark takes the shot, and they have not gotten that shot to fall. They've taken about 15 of those, and they've only hit about 3. It goes to Cunningham. Cunningham also can't get it to go. And in the front court, the foul is on number 23, Colin Arthur.
Highland's getting a little bit frustrated on the offensive end of the floor, and I think it's mostly due to the pressure that St. George's. The St. George's is playing pretty tough defense on them, and they're not being able to get the ball to Cunningham, number 1, and they're not getting inside shots, and they're relying on the outside shot. You can't do that. You've got to have a balanced inside-outside game.
St. George has seen him close the lane a little bit on the Highland team.
That shot, and I'm having trouble. Yeah, that's got to be Toby Berger. But I had him listed as not playing tonight, but he's out there, so whatever virus he had, he doesn't have it anymore.
Quick recovery.
All right, Evans with it to Clark. Clark in the corner to Cunningham. Cunningham being hounded by Berger there. Now it goes to Evans. There it's Cunningham. It banks off the side of the backboard, and here come the Saints. It's O'Callaghan. The dish to Bodell.
Whoa.
And oh, what a foul. A pretty hard foul by Steve Clark.
I think that's okay. I think that's what you want to do in that situation. You want to make sure that if you're going to foul them, you don't give them a chance to make a three-point play. Make them go for one. And he goes up. He knows he's beat here and says, I'm going to get an arm and I'm going to get enough of it so that you cannot make the three-point play.
31-22, the Saints with the lead, and they go to the line. It's Doug Bodell. Bodell averaging 18 points a game. He's a 6'2 forward in his final year here in high school.
Comox hasn't had much offense in the last little while. It seems that it's all been St. George's, and St. George is really taking it to him. They're shutting down the center lane, going in, and whenever Comox gets on the offense, they just seem to really get a little chaotic, and they overreact.
Well, ironically, it's the guy on the line that's causing all the problems. If we watch, and maybe we can ISO on him in the press here. And Bodell is putting enough pressure. He's containing the ball, and he's making somebody else bring the ball up the floor other than the point guard. And then those guys that are bringing it up are ending up throwing the ball away. And he's an effective defensive player. Last night in the semifinal game, he guarded David Buchanan, who is arguably the best AA high school basketball player in the province. And he did a great job on him. He did a great job on containing David Buchanan. David Buchanan still had a good game, but Doug did a good jow of containing him and playing pressure defense on him.
Well, there's the crowd and our location as Bodell hits the free throw to make it 32-22, a 10-point lead with 4:50 left, live at Trinity Western on a Saturday night. What a day it was. Was it just me, or I tell you, this is a beautiful place to live when it doesn't rain, right?
When it doesn't rain, your feet don't get wet. It was just gorgeous outside, same as a basketball game.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You certainly do, and we got great basketball action for you, and Rogers 4 Sports happy to bring it to you. Rich Lodwick, Steve Erickson, and Jay Triano courtside along with Ozzie Owens. That was an awesome move by Doug Bodell, going right to the heart of that defense of the Raiders. 35-22. Colin Arthur, the 5'8 guard, to Steve Clark. Clark back to Arthur. 14 seconds on that shot clock. Evans with it, having trouble in the corner, gets it to Arthur. Arthur to Clark, and Clark being hounded by Bodell. Clark puts it up, but he's all over that one. And he gets back his own shot. Gets it inside to number 24, Morgan, but he is fouled by Doug Grant.
3:54 remaining in the second quarter. Comox hasn't done a whole bunch in the last while. I guess basically for the simple reason that they're trying to rush, they're trying to overreact. When they go to the dressing room after this, they've got to settle down, get their composure together, maybe come out a little more aggressive into the third.
Yeah, I can't remember the last basket they scored. They were leading this game 22-18, 22-17 at one time, and I can't remember the last time they scored. And again, they miss a free throw and can't buy a basket.
Harley Rollins checking into the game. He's a 6'2" center for the Saints. We'll call him Harley Davidson Rollins tonight. Oh, look at that. Oh, Callaghan. Hey, you have to like the way that one rimmed off there. 37-22. Ross McDonald in there for the Raiders. McDonald has it. He dribbles, dishes off, but he's called for the travel.
A little bit of points of interest right now. Leading scorers, St. George's. We've got Grant and Bodell. They each have 9 points. And for the Raiders, we've got Cunningham. He's got 10 points. We've had 21 turnovers. And their strong bench players right now is number 24, David Morgan for Comox.
We're not victoring or anything,
5 points.
We're all together. We're focused. Everything's clicking.
Right now, guys, intensity the rest of the way. They're freaking out right now. If we really pick up the intensity the rest of the way, we can bury them right now and put them away.
Good work in the zone, guys. Really good work.
If it's there, we push it. If it's not there, we run it and slow it down, and we take care of them in the half-court game. Sure. Super job. Way to work. Good defense, guys.
We should say that the person that's giving us all our strategic stats right now beside us is Ed. Ed's doing a good job for us, helping us out.
Ed Lannigan, that's right, helping us out, making our job a little easier, and we're pretty crowded up here.
We are. They're getting
down
more
here,
and more.
Say again?
And they're still coming to the front door. We had a chance earlier on to walk through this complex, and it's a gorgeous facility.
Now, and then you come down and go inside down this end, all right? Mix it up. Not now. Right now it's 21. Do it.
Larry Peterson talking about 21. 21 is going to be the defense that they're going to. It sounds like it's some kind of zone. Hopefully change the tempo of this game.
Bodell. Long courtside pass to O'Callaghan, and he banks it off the glass. And the Saints really pulling away in this one now. 39-22. They've had pretty well their own way so far in the second quarter.
Close to a 10-second violation there, and again, St. George's press is very effective.
Clark will take the three, and finally something positive offensively for the Raiders as Clark nails the three. It's 39-25. Berger throws that one out of bounds. It's going to be Raiders ball. The last 4.5 minutes. The Saints have run off 16 points in Comox, only 4, to give you an indication of the troubles that the Raiders have had. Evans sets up that Raiders offense. He gives it to Clark. Clark looks inside, but gives it back to Evans. Inside it goes to Morgan. Morgan cannot get the shot to fall, and here comes O'Callaghan back the other way. O'Callaghan goes to the lane, takes the shot, he's fouled, and he will go to the line.
Good hustle by O'Callaghan all the way. He got a tough defensive rebound, brought the ball all the way up the floor, saw a lane to the basket and took it.
O'Callaghan will shoot 2. He's averaging about 8 a game. He's a 6-foot forward, and I talked to him before the game, and he put Kathy Ireland down as his favorite sports hero. Kathy Ireland's on the cover of the latest Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit issue. I think he should stick to put his mind on basketball and leave the lovely ladies alone. What do you think?
I have no comment.
No, he's...
That's in the off season.
Yeah. Oh, Clark is getting hot. That's his second three-pointer in a row. 39-28, a minute 34 left, second quarter. Cruikshank gets it to O'Callaghan. Inside it goes. The shot will fall, not put back. And that's just great hustle by Joe Tong. Yeah, we got Joe Tong in there. He's fresh off the bench, just giving it his all for the Saints. And they just seem to be playing at a higher tempo level.
Good steal by Grant, and Tong coming down the middle, got a blocking foul.
Good defensive play by Mike Evans for Comox.
Yeah, unfortunately, the referee didn't feel that he had his feet planted, and they call a blocking foul, but it was a good play to get back and get into the lane.
And Tong goes to the line. He's a 6'2 forward. And coming off the bench here to keep the rally going for the Saints, David Wang has it knocked off his leg. And the Raiders just can't get any sustained offensive success going here. We have a substitution checking into the game, number 5. That's Egeman. And he'll replace Steve Clark. And Clark supplying the only offense that the Raiders have had in this entire second quarter, practically. 57 seconds left. Callaghan. Cruikshank. Back to Callaghan. He'll take the baseline jumper. He's off with it. But Bodell coming out of nowhere keeps it alive.
Bodell crashed from the weak side, get his hand up on the ball, and a good play. Trying to save it, ends up throwing it off the defensive player.
Bodell getting set to check that ball in. The St. George's Saints. .47 seconds left, and Cruikshank sets that offense up for the St. George's Saints, leading 39-28. Oh, the off-balance shot, will it go? It doesn't go, but it has many times before.
Ross McDonald for Comox didn't believe that they called that, but they just say it was called. It seemed like a good call from over here, from our vantage point. Comox is coming on. They've scored the one three-pointer from a little while back, and we're going to see. We've got 39 seconds left in the second quarter.
Cruikshank will go to the line. He's had a good, solid first half for Coach David Wilson, and he makes that free throw. And they hit the 40-point mark. That one's off, but they get it back as it took the long bounce off the rim. O'Callaghan. He gets it back. Oh, he did the old bunny hop in the beehive. You bet there. Good call by the officials. They're right on top of that one.
Right on top. Not going to get away from that at all. Wang is going to get the ball. Take his time.
Cruikshank with 14 seconds left. Probably go for the last shot here.
Play for one shot.
Into Grant. Grant thought about it, decided to change his mind. Goes to O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan is met there by a host of players, including Ross McDonald and David Morgan.
Good play. You know, I really don't believe he was attempting to make a shot there, but he knew he was going inside. He had players that were leaving their feet in the air, and he thought, hey, I'm just going to get to the free throw line, make some contact, and throw it up. And that's what a lot of good basketball players do. They'll get to the line here. He's got 2 shots.
Misses the front end. And he'll get another shot. Mike O'Callaghan misses the second one, and with 3 seconds left, he gets it back on the steal. Oh, he would have loved to have that one fall.
Now that last play is very typical of Highlands. first half, you know, they're not looking after the ball very well. With 3 seconds to go, they should either just hang on to the ball or throw it the length of the floor, but they throw a bad pass and give St. George's another chance to build upon their lead.
Yeah, when you got 3 seconds left in the quarter, you don't play giveaway with the ball. You've got to maintain your composure, stay cool. Ross McDonald had a real bad turnover there, and he got a little bit disillusioned with himself out there. He knew he made it, and the hesitation that he made created that foul shot there, and it could have been really costly to him.
St. George's 40, the Highland Raiders 28. We're at halftime, and let's throw it up to Ozzie Owens, who's going to talk about the game that's coming up after this one.
Yeah, throw it up. I hate when he says throw it up to Ozzie. No, I'm kidding. Thanks, Rich. Our halftime show coming up in just a second. We're going to talk to the coaches of tonight's final for the AA Championship. The score at the half, once again, the St. George's Saints 40, the Comox Highland Raiders 28. Halftime show live from the campus of Trinity Western University is next.
Say hello to 4-year-old Laurel Buss.
Once again, welcome back live to the campus of Trinity Western University Rogers Forest Sports and the presentation of the consolation final of the BC AA Boys Basketball Championships, High School Basketball Championships. The score at the half, once again, St. George's Saints 40 and the Highland Raiders 28. My name is Ozzie Owens, and our halftime show. We have Greg Leno, the coach of the DW Poppy Redhawks, the hometown favorite here tonight. And on my left, my right, Stuart Sawney, the coach of the Agassiz Chiefs. These two men are going to meet in the final tonight's final championship. And Greg, I'm wondering, what do you think so far of what you've seen tonight here at the consolation final?
It's been a good game. St. George's had the press, and that's really made a big difference. They've gone ahead because of that, I think, and unless Highland does something about that, it's going to be an easy game for St. George's in the second half.
Okay, your Redhawks beat which of these two teams to get here?
St. George's last night.
Okay, so how was that game?
It was a pretty tough game. They worked really hard. They rebounded really well and did an excellent job. We had a really tough game. It was lucky that at the end we hit some shots that were crucial to the game and broke it open to win. But it could have gone either way in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, who do you like here tonight then? You think St. George's is going to take this?
I think they will, yeah. I think that's going to be the case. Anything can happen in boys basketball, and especially in games like this, but I think they'll still take it.
Right. Okay, Stuart, you beat who last night to come here?
We beat Highland.
And how was that game?
It was a good game. We held the lead most of the way. We were up 16, 18 points in the third and fourth quarters, and we just kind of slipped away from us a little bit. We don't have the same type of team that St. George's does. They play a little more up-tempo, and their scores can be higher. Ours is more of a half-court game, and we just kind of bang at it at each end.
So what do you think of what you've seen here so far tonight?
Well, I think St. George's, having played them and seeing what's happened so far, they're just too deep for Highland. Highland has to play their best 5 the whole game, and St. George's can substitute up to 9 or 10 guys evenly. So they're controlling the tempo, and Highland's not scoring on their press offense, and that's hurting them quite a bit.
So at this point, it looks like St. George's is going to take this. You're both in agreement with that. I'm wondering, the BC AAA Boys Championships are coming up next weekend at P&E grounds in Vancouver, the Agrodome, yes. And I'm wondering, who do you like out of that, Greg?
I'd say St. Michael's. They've got an excellent club. The 3 players played in an under-17 team with the provincial team last year. And I think they've got too much depth and balance for anybody to stop now that all their players are back from injuries.
Okay, St. Michael's. And Stuart, you next weekend?
The only team I haven't seen in that whole division is St. Michael's, so I can't comment on them. But Alberni and Van College always are strong, and I think they'll give St. Michael's a go. From what I've heard from my colleagues, though, St. Michael's is really deep.
Okay, we've got a big turnout here tonight. There's a lot of people here. In fact, it looks to me like almost as many people that were at the AAA Championships last weekend. I'm wondering, of course, you're both going for this trophy right here. You're bitter enemies tonight, I must say. And I'm wondering, of course, well, we know what you're going to say. Who's going to take this home, Greg?
Well, I hope we do. We have to play an excellent game against Agassiz. They've got those big guys, and it's really difficult to do anything. You have to make sure you keep them off the boards.
Okay, and how are you feeling about the final tonight? You going to win it?
Well, we certainly have planned to win it. A thing that I'm really looking forward to is playing Poppy with all their players there. They've been short a couple players in the past couple games we played with them. and it's just fitting that both teams are healthy, and I think no matter what the outcome is, you'll see the best team win tonight.
Well, Stuart, Greg, good luck to both of you. Let's get a handshake here maybe and get set for the consolation or the final tonight. Once again, the score at the half, St. George's 40 and the Comox Raiders 28. My name is Ozzie Owens, and we're back in a moment with Rich Lodwick down at courtside.
Have you?
Time at the Trinity Western University, the 20th annual British Columbia High School Boys Basketball Championships, 40-28. It's rocking here as we are at halftime, moments away from the start of the second half. And let's take a look at a highlight of that first half. And here's just an example of why the Saints are up by that big lead.
Yeah, Cruikshank throws it, gets it inside, and Grant can't hang on to it, but he makes a nice save and throws it in. The ball's going the way of St. George's right now. I don't know if that was a planned pass, but they're hustling for it and they're picking up the loose balls.
The big key on that was the save because he prevented it from going out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's you want to save the ball unless you know exactly where it's going. It could send the other team down the other way on a fast break.
All right, we are live here. Second half just underway. There's the shot by Cunningham. It does not fall. And the Saints are in the black. The Raiders, the Highland Raiders from Comox, are in the white with yellow trim. And there's a long lead pass to Cunningham. Cunningham stops and pops, but he can't get it to fall. He gets his own rebound. Now Clark for three. He can't get it to fall, and Morgan is fouled by number 23. That's James Daniels, the 6'5" center, the big fella in the middle.
Morgan's done a good job of crashing the boards hard. He's just got to finish off some of those shots when he gets the rebound.
Leading scorers in the first half, Doug Grant for St. George's had 11 points. For Comox, Colin Cunningham had 12 points.
They're going to need Cunningham to score more than 12 points in this half if Highland's going to make a run at St. George's.
Cunningham has it now. And Cunningham is taking a lot of shots, but he's just not getting them to fall.
I think that's credit to Grant. Grant's done an excellent job defensively. We showed earlier how he's playing and giving him the outside shot. He's definitely taken away Cunningham's inside game.
David Wang, the sporty hairdo and all, goes in and cannot get it to go. Nice move by Wang, but he just didn't get the finishing touch on that one. It's 40-28. We are just underway here in the third quarter. Cruikshank going straight to the hoop.
Cunningham normally averages 31 points a game. Having only 12 points so far, as Jay was saying, they've got to get more offense out of him.
You know, you'd think a 5'10" guard would be a little hesitant to go straight down the middle, but not Cruikshank.
I don't know if we can get a replay of that last play down the floor, but Cruikshank set it up with a great fake pass. He faked the pass to the wing, split the defense open, and then he penetrated down the center.
Getting back to Cruikshank, his favorite sports hero is Isaiah Thomas, and he plays a lot like Isaiah. He's got the same number, but yeah, he likes to take the ball. He's not afraid to go right at those big guys inside. And we have a jump ball between Bodell and Cunningham.
Good move. Rather than create a turnover and give it away real easy, just go the jump ball route.
That's right, Steve.
And Bodell, good work on the jump ball. It goes to Cruikshank. Cruikshank tried the behind-the-back pass, but it goes off of Evans, and it remains St. George's ball.
Got a total of 28 turnovers in the first half. We probably had 4 or 5 already so far in the third quarter.
O'Callaghan to Grant. To Bodell, back to Grant, and Grant takes the shot. Daniels the rebound, gets it up, and gets it to fall. I'm impressed with Daniels off the bench. He's come in and he's done exactly what head coach David Wilson wants. Another turnover by the Highland Raiders gives the ball to the Saints. Oh, look at that pass into Doug Grant.
Good penetration and a good seal by Grant inside. And again, St. George's press has caused a lot of problems for Highland. Not just because they're getting steals from it, but it's taken Highland out of any kind of rhythm or momentum that they can get in and missing easy shots as a result.
David Morgan with some good hustle gets two. It's a 46-30, 16-point lead for the Saints.
Good finish off on that. Morgan didn't back off, just sheer perseverance.
Now back the other way, here's Clark. And Clark. Oh, I'll tell you, there was a collision over there in the corner with one of our cameramen.
Yeah, one of our cameramen stood tall and took a charge, and I think the referee gave him the call.
Hey, Trevor, way to hang tough there, big guy. He hung on to that.
I tell you, was that a save of that camera? Roland would have been impressed.
Oh, I'll tell you. You know, that's an expensive and heavy camera he's got on his shoulder, and he did a fantastic job. But O'Callaghan, that's great hustle on defense. Clark for three. It's no good, but look at that work underneath by Morgan and Cunningham. But the story of the whole game is they just haven't been able to get the shots to go. Traveling call against O'Callaghan. Good call.
Good call. He got overly aggressive. Good call. The referee's right beside him.
You know, and I don't think Coach Dave Wilson minds that call, because I'll tell you, O'Callaghan has gone after the ball. He's worked hard, and that's an aggressive play going after. You don't mind those kind of turnovers.
Folks, if you're just joining us, Trinity Western University is the site for this consolation game between St. George's and the Highland Raiders. You see the good action. We are live, and this place is jam-packed. I don't think there's an available seat in the house.
They're still coming to the door. We've got everything from kids dressed up. We've got everything. We've got horns, we've got tom-toms, drums, you name it. There's more people coming in the front. The next game's going to be just packed.
And we got a fired-up Steve Erickson. That's to top it all off. There you see it.
I'm glad this
play championships and we can fill a gymnasium.
Cunningham with the free throw gets it. 46-31, 6:21 left third quarter. Cruikshank to Bodell, and it goes back to Cruikshank, but he is being hounded there, and some good defense by Ton True is checked in, number 15, Ton True from the Highland Raiders. Cunningham almost got it stolen away, and now it is stolen away by Mike O'Callaghan. This guy's been all over the court tonight.
He's playing super aggressive, and it's paying off for him.
O'Callaghan put up that air ball, but that takes nothing away from the great effort he's putting forth tonight.
And he just asked for a sub, because I'll tell you something, he's worked as hard as he could and played for 5 minutes, and now he needs a breather.
Clark with the football tight pass. It goes to Egeman, who's checked in. Clark to True, back to Cunningham. Cunningham lets go another bomb. Bodell dribbles, drives. Grant with the rebound. Cunningham met there by Bodell. Bodies everywhere. And the end result, a turnover, and it goes to the Highland Raiders.
Bodell's getting overly a little bit, I don't know, rough, I guess you could say, on creating turnovers. They've got to be careful. It's still a close score. They don't want to give and go, give any unnecessary baskets away.
That's Clark feeding it down. Inside to Egeman, back to Clark, inside to Cunningham. Cunningham with the spin move. Cunningham, 31 points per game average. At least that's the information we have. And I can see where Cunningham can, as you see, Cruikshank nail a three-pointer.
Oh, definitely. Cunningham's a very good player. He's a better player than he's shown here tonight so far. I mean, he can score inside and out, and I don't think he's proven that he can do that in this game.
They've been double teaming him every chance they get, too.
Oh, definitely. They're keying on Cunningham. He's a premier player and a good player. And you can see that shot there, a little bit of frustration shooting the ball like that because he is being defended so well.
4 minutes left, third quarter. Your score, 49-33. Stolen away by True. And now Clark will run that Raiders offense. Down low to Cunningham, and Cunningham, another shot that won't drop for him. Clark for three. That's off the front rim. Now St. George is just content to just slow things down whenever they get it. They've got that big lead, and they'll just try to use up the clock.
Yeah, it's 16-point lead. They want to make sure that they have that at the end of this quarter, heading into the fourth quarter.
Doug Grant follows it into the corner. Now Bodell with the shot, and the swish. Harley Rollins, number 44, is checked in for the Saints, but that's just a nice shot by Bodell.
Nice pass and play by Grant.
Another turnover by the Raiders, and an injured player falling down to the court. We'll get the number for you. That is Rollins.
Rollins, what happened when they turned? They turned, and Grant was making a swiping motion at the ball, and Grant, palm of his hand, actually smacked him on the side of the head.
He's going to be okay. He's up, gets a good round of applause, and
watch the replay. We should have a replay on the screen. On the monitor, right there. Just got him. As he turned around, he just almost KO'd him right in the side. Then when he got up, Rollins got up and looked and saw who hit him, and he said, okay, you're forgiven, you're on my team.
Play baseline on the zone, just for now.
All right, so Rollins gets up and gets some attention at the bench. Updating you, Cunningham has 15 points, and for the Saints, Cruikshank with 13. Turnovers, 8 in this quarter, and so things have settled down just a little bit, not quite as bad as the early going on.
Gotta wait, of course.
All those nervous jitters gone now, and things have settled in, but the Saints are doing a good job in this one, indeed, with that 51-33 lead.
Comox still looking a little bit chaotic at certain times. They've got to settle down, get their own game going. They've got to really start getting Colin Cunningham going, because he is their team leader, as we said earlier on, but he's not having a strong game right now.
And they're down by 18. What they want to do in the next 3 minutes, they want to try to close it, get it to within 10, and then they can make a run in the fourth quarter.
You can see Cruikshank on the screen just a second ago. He is having a tremendous game.
Cunningham inside. That's Cunningham's first basket.
We were just talking about Cunningham. They've got to get him going. He's got to be a lot more productive than he is.
If Cunningham ever gets some shots to fall, the whole complexion of this game will change indeed, because he is a gifted player that's just not getting things to go his way. But there's Grant. They're getting the ball inside, Jay. I'm sure you've noticed that. Well, why are they being able to get it into Grant and Daniels and inside?
That time there, they did a great job. They used up a lot of the shot clock as well. They moved the ball. They were patient and reversed the ball a couple times. And when you reverse the ball 2 or 3 times, the defense is going to eventually break down. Great pass and a great layup by Grant. That's a big guy running the floor.
Indeed, running the floor very well. And for those of you just joining us, Steve Erickson and Jay Triano working with me. And Jay, of course, the head coach at SFU and a former Canadian Olympic player, for those of you who aren't aware of that, and Jay bringing his insight to tonight's great basketball action. Some of these players I'm sure you wouldn't mind inviting over to SFU.
Well, there's some good players here, and you know, we have to evaluate our season in the next little while. We just finished playing last week, and we're definitely looking for players, and we're looking for 4 or 5 players that can step in and play at SFU.
As we were mentioning earlier on in the first half, the biggest difference between single A, double A, and triple A is just a number of players that go to the school. And there very, very could conceivably be better players in the single A or double A caliber. And these players have to realize that. Don't just because you're in a double A, classification, just get disillusioned and think you can't advance.
Yeah, it's the number of boys in the school, not just basketball players. I mean, so they're looking and taking at the number of male students at the school, which classifies single A, double A. Agassi, who we'll see next, could actually have played in the single A tournament this year, but elected to go double A for the competition and have fared very well in the double A.
That's right, Agassi and DW Poppy set to go. And Jay, thank you for coming tonight. It's Privileged to be able to work with you. We're happy that you made it, and to you, Steve, as well. Okay, 57-35 our score. 1:32 left, third quarter. Cunningham is going to go to the line, and he will shoot 2.
We've got to get a lot more productivity from Cunningham. The biggest part is that Cunningham, every time he takes a shot, he misses a basket. You watch the facial expressions on him. He seems to be a little bit disillusioned with himself. I don't think he's overly pleased with his play. He's got to settle down, get his composure, regain it all, and they won't have a problem. But they've got to depend on this guy because he's a real top-notch player.
Joe Tong is checked in. He's a 6'2" forward. You know, all these big words flying around. You know, you guys just blow me away with your vocabulary. Disillusion. That's a big word, Steve.
I read that last weekend when I was going through Seattle.
We have a plethora of those for you tonight. 1:25 left the third quarter. Cruikshank with it. Raiders playing a zone. And Cruikshank will take a 3. It's off. And look at that hustle by the Saints. They get one shot. Now it's blocked by Cunningham. Now it goes back to Cruikshank at the top, and Cruikshank got a little anxious and travels. But they are getting those second shots time and time again down the court.
Yeah, they're definitely more aggressive on the boards and more aggressive defensively. I mean, we're going to heading into the fourth quarter in another minute, and Highlands only scored 36 points in this game. And that's a great defensive job by St. George's. Again, defensive pressure forcing another turnover.
Yeah, Greg Taylor's now in. Set up that lineup for you. The Raiders have Wang, Cunningham, Evans, Taylor, and Morgan. And for the Saints, Cruikshank, Hagar, Tong, Rollins, and Grant. And Grant tips it in. This Doug Grant, I don't know how many points he's got. We'll find out for you in a sec, but he's having a whale of a game tonight. He's got unofficially about 14 points. 24 seconds left, and David Wang just dribbled that one out of bounds.
Leading scorers for the third quarter right now, number 10 for the Comox team, Colin Cunningham. He's got 6 points. St. George's number 11, Cruikshank. He's got 5 points.
And now the last shot of the quarter will be taken by St. George's if all goes as planned. There's the pass inside to Tong. Tong takes it, can't get it to go, and Cunningham with 2 seconds will take the half-court shot. And no good, and so after 3, it's 59-36.
We should also mention that Daniels for St. George's had 4 points in the third quarter. A good throw there by Cunningham.
All right, sorry about that, Steve. We're going to go down to Ozzy, who is courtside. Ozzy, what's that for us?
Are we on? Okay.
Now they're on.
Here we go. I got Jim and Shay, and these guys play for the Campbell River who? Cayes. Campbell River Cayes. Okay, so you were knocked out by the Highlanders, I take it.
No, we got knocked out by Garibaldi in the first round.
I see. So who are you cheering for here tonight then?
First Highlands and then DW Poppy in the final.
So you can't be too happy because the Highlanders are getting their butts kicked tonight, right?
No, not really. Not happy at all.
What kind of year has it been for the Highlanders?
Well, they won the Island, and the Island was tough to win, so they're doing all right, I guess.
All right, well, it looks like they might come in fourth because they only have 1 more quarter to go here, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you, Ozzy. You know, Ozzy, he's working overtime tonight, putting in the good time there. Look at some highlights here, and Jay, your thoughts?
Well, there's Cunningham going inside, and he's got to do that on a more consistent basis if they're going to make a run here. 23 points down, you know, and when it's for third and fourth, if it's for first or second, I think Highlands would make a run. But when it's for third and fourth, they may just fold up and not even play this quarter.
We should say that the 2 gentlemen that Ozzy was talking to from the Campbell River Thais, a lot of people that don't know it, Campbell River is supposed to be the fishing capital of BC, 30 miles north of the Comox area. Good, a lot of tourist attraction in the summertime.
Oh, you got him, Cruikshank. He puts in 2 with the Isaiah Thomas-like moves. 61-36, fourth quarter just underway. We've got a turnover, and Cruikshank's wide open, but he dishes to Tong, and Tong has it blocked by Wang. but picked up now, and the shot taken by Rollins, but it will not count. It will not count.
Cruikshank created that turnover. He went after the ball with an underhand swing. The ball went up to Hager. Hager took a long lead pass up the floor, got it back to him.
Nice block by Wang. Look at that. You know, you can say a lot about the Raiders, you know, inept offense tonight, but it hasn't been from lack of hustle. And on defense, they've been really trying their best to slow this Saints machine down. Let's go to the huddle and head coach Peterson.
2 minutes time, not even a minute and a half time to put the mic across center.
No, wrong. Well, that's fine. I want the other guy coming to the ball. Next time, if you don't look up the court, you sit down, all right? If you do look up the court and the other guy doesn't come to the ball, then he sits down. Understand? Now, come on.
Do it, guys.
Very disillusioned, Mr. Peterson, for the Highland squad. He's not overly impressed with the way the team's performing right now, and I guess you can't say it's, you know, he's got to be, you know, a little bit, there you can see it.
There you see it, the BC AA Basketball Championship, your Final Four. St. George's, DW Poppy, Comox, and Agassiz, and we'll see Agassiz and DW Poppy coming up next.
You know, when you think about it, at this magnitude in sport, despite the fact you got first, second, third, and fourth, there's no real losers. All the boys are winners. They play with a lot of confidence. The only difference is really the mental, I guess.
That's right. And the Highland team, you know, looking at some of the questionnaires they filled out for us, their biggest goal this year is winning the Island Championship. It's a very tough Island, with Lady Smith being a very strong team and Carey High a strong team as well.
It's a lot of travel for them too, back and forth, up and down, from Comox area down to Victoria, Carey Park there. It's almost a 3-hour trip each way. You know, they go down after school, they play, got to go back. They're looking at midnight by the time they get back. It's a long travel effort for them, and that was their main goal. They didn't really have any aspirations of coming over here. They basically just were contented with winning the Island. This is an extra bonus plus for them.
We have a timeout called at 9:17 of this third, 61-36. Let's go and hear David Wilson.
Let's go. Okay, let's go, guys. Be smart. Use the clock. 1, 2, 3, say.
Well, I didn't say much there.
It wasn't a timeout there. James Daniels fouled out. That was his 5th foul, and he's out of the game now. So the team who player fouls out, they have 30 seconds or 15 or 60 seconds to get a substitute come in. So coaches take advantage of that and call their players over and use that as a timeout.
Okay, there you have it. That's why Jay Triano is with us. That's why you guys get paid the big bucks to help me out when
a smart coach will utilize everything to his advantage. If they know the rules, they can really capitalize on miscues.
Morgan's at the line, and he gets that one from the charity stripe, 61-37. And the crowd is just buzzing, watching this one, getting ready for the championship game, which follows immediately after this one. And we'll carry it for you. There's Rollins. The long pass across to Hagar. Now inside to Grant, and Grant, the spin shot right underneath on Morgan, and he gets it.
St. George's has shown plays like that all game, and it's been very effective. 5 guys touch the basketball. 5 guys touch the basketball that time down the floor, and they finish off with the 5th guy, Doug Grant, putting it in for 2 points. That's great team basketball.
There's no individuals out there, Jay. They're all playing as a solid unit.
That's right.
Wide open. The Saints, Rollins, but Rollins gets the open shot, but couldn't get it. Missed an easy one there, and you know, I mean, I played high school ball, believe it or not, way back, back in 83, and I used to miss too many of those, and I guess that's why I never played college ball. But you gotta, when you get the easy layup, you know, as a coach, Jay, these players have got to learn to put those in.
Oh, definitely. You have to make the easy shots all the time, and I think that's one of the things we're seeing today. Highland has missed a lot of these shots. They've had a lot of shots that have rolled around the rim and fallen out.
Clark takes a 3, gets it. Nice shooting by Steve Clark. That's his 3rd three-pointer of the game.
Big plus for him. Well executed. Apparently he does that all the time on the island.
All right, good defense by the Raiders. It goes into Grant. Grant inside to Rollins, and Wang met Rollins there. And it went off of Harley Rollins. And it's going to be Raiders ball with 8 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. And the referee, David Seaweed.
Wiping up a little bit of perspiration on the floor there from some of the players.
Now, let's use the word sweat.
I was being nice. Two referees, I should say, doing a good job right now. David Seaweed, he is from Vancouver, and Bruce Fuhrer from the West Kootenays, the Nelson area, 16-year veteran.
Cunningham, it goes to Clark. Clark tries another three, and he gets it to go. That's number 4.
They're
This guy's
closing
on
the
fire. He's on fire. They got to feed him the ball. 63-46. The Saints with the big lead, and Grant to the hoop. Cunningham with it. He gets it back, and he'll take a three, and he gets it to fall. Oh, that's 3 or 4 three-pointers in the last 2 minutes for the Raiders.
Wilson, the coach for the St. George's Saints, is looking a little bit worried over there on the bench right now.
That is going to be Saints ball as it's checked out.
Highland making those three-pointers, they got a chance of making a run and get back in this game. The only problem is they've also got to stop St. George's defensively, and they haven't done that lately. They gave Grant a wide-open layup right down the lane with nobody contesting him the last time down.
Rollins, number 44, with the good hustle. It's picked up by Cunningham for Highland Raiders, and here they come. Wang. Dribbles, and he's going to be called for the travel. Jay, maybe you can explain that a little bit. If you fall down, I guess you just can't pick it up, right?
Well, if you fall down, the rule is you're not allowed to stand up with the ball.
Okay.
If you leave your feet, it's like any violation where your feet have left the floor and they come back down the floor. So you've got to keep your feet planted on the floor.
And a lot of times it depends on the referee too.
That's true.
Rollins!
I like it when the referees don't make the call, because the guy on the floor usually has hustled and sacrificed his body to get on the floor and deserves a reward, not being penalized for that.
That's right.
We have a foul called on Grant. Doug Grant will pick up. There you see Grant. He's having a good ball game. That's his second foul. I don't think anyone's in real foul trouble at all in this one. If they were, of course, we would keep you.
Except for James Daniels, he's gone. I mean, he's
aside from that, yeah. There's Clark. And he banks it up and in, and 65-51 now. They're closing the gap a little bit here. 6:17, clock running. We got goaltending called. Doug Bodell went to the hoop.
A lot of people disillusioned. They don't like that call, Jay.
Well, I was just about to say the best thing you can say about his officials is when you don't notice him. And the first time we noticed him is when he was wiping up the floor. But now I got to take notice, because that ball is still going up when it gets blocked, and I don't think that was a good call.
Well, we always say the sign of a good official is one that you don't notice till after the game.
That's right.
Three-pointer by Clark. He had that one, but it rolled out of there. And now they're going to call foul on Rollins. And Cruikshank's going to check back in. Okay, folks, next week, right here on Rogers Cable, the 43rd annual British Columbia AAA Basketball Championships. We'll have it for you Saturday. It will be held at the PNE Agrodome. Check your local listings, your local stations for list. How does that go? They're protected by copyright?
Just check your local listings in your area and see when they're going to broadcast it.
Right, and we'll have it for you. Rogers Cable, proud to be able to bring you all the high school basketball action this year. You bet. Right here. Little pressure there by the Raiders. Cruikshank to O'Callaghan. And they're just trying to use up a little bit of that clock. Not taking the shot until they're ready. And finally, Cruikshank with the three. This guy sits on the bench. He comes in there and nails the three. That you gotta like that if you're a Saints fan. We got a timeout on the court. There is your score, 70-51. 19-point lead for the St. George's Saints.
Cruikshank, from our point of view over here, he seems to be a real team motivator. He comes on the floor after he's been on the bench for a little while. He comes out, he motivates them, and he's really good at it.
He's their leader, as we mentioned
another
earlier.
thing you can do is 11 kicks the ball off, gets it back, kicks it off.
And then he stands up there and drains a three-pointer.
So
just
somebody
tries to come back.
When he gets rid of the ball, somebody starts cheating out in the passing lane
Here,
between
Coach
him and the guy
Peterson for the
he gave it to.
Highland
And when they go to
Raiders.
pass it back out, let's get some pickoffs. You got that? It is still possible, actually, with 19 points, it is still possible. 13, you are the guy in the middle, right? And then you go baseline, and then you go and trap in the corners. Got that? Now, do you know what we're doing? I've used my last timeout, so it's half-court trap, 13, and then back into trap down here, 13. All right, here we go.
I think Larry Peterson was trying to convince himself more than he was his teammate that it is still possible. But, you know, in effect, it is possible. And he's got the three-point shooters that can get them back into the game.
They've capitalized on a couple of three-point good shots. They just haven't done it enough and more often for them.
5:20 left, fourth quarter, and don't forget, folks, don't go anywhere after this one's over, because we'll have DW Poppy from Langley against the Agassiz Chieftains. And there's the action here, picked up by Wang. He goes baseline. Egeman with the shot. He can't get it to go. Callaghan with another rebound. Over to Cruikshank, and they handle that Raiders press rather easily. Bit of a half-court press they're running. And Wang, a good steal. Clark to Egeman. Back to Wang. Wang's going to go to the hoop. He goes strong. Dishes to Cunningham, and Cunningham tried to reverse. It goes back to Wang. Back to Cunningham, and yes, count the bucket.
Nope.
No, don't count the bucket.
3 seconds in the key.
Okay. 18 points for Cunningham. He was looking for numbers 19 and 20, but the referee says no, not on that one. Cruikshank takes a three. That's off the rim. They jostle underneath, and Rollins is the one that gets the two.
I think that was Bodell in there, and he's been on the bench for a while. He came in, got his hand on it, tipped it in.
Bodell's number 4, and Rollins is 44, so yeah, I saw 4.
There you go.
Doesn't really matter. They're both the same height anyway.
Yeah, they're wearing the same uniform.
Bodell has 18 points, 20 points now for Doug Bodell. He gets it back, he puts it up, he puts it in. 74-51, the clock running at 3:56. Wang for 3, and he nails it. 20-point lead now.
Cruikshank handles the ball so well that he's not having any problems. St. George's have no problem breaking the Highland press.
All right, get back to the action here. This place is just going crazy right now. The fans are just packed right in here like sardines, and you know, we got everything here tonight, don't we, Steve?
We do. We've got everything coming. Place is getting full, and they're still coming in the front door. I think the next game is just going to be really explosive. There you can see a shot of the spectators here. If this place was a little bigger, we could probably fill it twice as much.
DW Poppy against the Agassiz Chieftains, your championship game for BCAA basketball. This is the first time that this game has been televised, and we are excited about it. It's coming up next.
That's a real plus for AA basketball.
3:18 left, and Cruikshank off of Clark's head. That's a first, and inside it goes to Cruikshank. He gets 2 more.
Had visions of soccer there for a while.
Yeah, soccer, volleyball, you name it. And a foul called, and I believe that it's Bodell going to the line. No, it's not. It's not Bodell. It's
Wang. Wang will be taking it.
2 shots, gentlemen.
I'm looking at the wrong end of the court here. David Wang, he is... the 6-foot guard. He averages about 15 points a game. And he gets that one. 76-55. Stolen. Here's a steal by Clark. He stops for 3. Clark gets it again. Dishes to Cunningham, but there's a foul before the shot. And it is going to be called on number 15, Matt Dixon, who's checked into the game for St. George's. He's a 6'5". No, he's a 6'3" guard. That's it. Doesn't look sick. Yeah.
Comox coming a little bit. They're coming on a bit aggressive, a little bit too late. They should have been possibly a little more aggressive, maybe in the third quarter, rather than wait till the latter few minutes.
Now, Jay, let me ask you this. You mentioned it earlier that their defense has improved. I mean, excuse me, their offense has improved, but they still haven't been able to shut down the Saints.
Yeah, it seems like when they made their run with about 7-8 minutes to go, they were making their 3-pointers, but still down at the other end, St. George's would move the ball, use the clock, and eventually get 2 points out of it. And it's tough to come back when teams are eating up the clock.
Cunningham back up with it, but I believe Rollins is going to be charged with the foul, and that sends Cunningham to the line.
David Wilson trying to get a lot of players that haven't played so far into the game now. It's a 20-point game. He'd like to get a couple of the grade 11s into the game so that they have the experience of playing in the AA championships, and hopefully he'll be able to bring a team back to these championships.
Well, hey, there we are. There's Jay. My head's the one in the middle there, and Steve blocking my view. Get out of my way, Steve. There we go.
You can see the camera.
Anyway, we are right here at center court, and there you see Trinity Western. This is a good place for a basketball game, isn't it?
That's great place. The players can stay on the one side and the fans get on the other side. The players can always see the fans, and that helps the players get motivated to play.
There's Cunningham, a good game for him tonight. He makes the free throw there, 76-57, and there's a lot of fouls being called right now. This one is going to go on number 3. We got some substitutions checking, and that's Mark Chan. You know, and for both coaches is you know, for Comox, Larry Peterson, he's 51 years old. He's been coaching for 25 years, and this is the best any team that he's coached has ever done. So even though things aren't going his way tonight, though, he's got to be proud of the way his team has played this whole season.
He's really pleased the way his team's playing. I was talking to him before the game. He hasn't said anything negative. He's quite just ecstatic about this. He said he's had a lot of good teams, but this beats them all.
2:19 clock running. David Wang, the shot. Bounces off the rim. Cunningham regains it. Passes across to Egeman. Egeman to Clark. To Wang. To Morgan. And Morgan, wide open, puts it up and in. Clark tried for the steal. But a heads-up play by the Saints to get it to Clark, or excuse me, to Krant. And there's a foul on Clark. Okay, let's set up who's out there for the Saints. We have Grant, Cruikshank, and Chan into the game. And now coming in, number 12, Joe Ton, replacing Cruikshank. 1:45 left, fourth quarter.
I believe they just announced that was his 5th foul.
Okay.
That's what I was doing for you.
I was wondering what you were doing there, but he's out of there with 5 fouls. Okay.
You inbounds the ball. Simon, you go deep. Gerald, you go deep. Joe and Mark back with you two. Okay?
Look to the middle, right? Somebody go to the middle, right?
Just be patient. Hey, don't be afraid to take a shot if you got it.
Take your time. Get it to the
Have
middle.
some fun out there, guys. One. Man to man. 1, 2, 3. Saints!
David Wilson's done
When
a great
they
job
break
with this team.
through, this guy flashes here, then I want you to be here. That's the one, okay? All right, go get subs.
Where do I play? Up top? I'm the one who's on.
Yes. No, just, no. Over on this wing, over here, on this wing.
78-59 your score here in the consolation game. 1:45 left in this one. And following this, the championship game, we'll talk more about that in just a minute. We are live, folks, here at Trinity Western in Langley. Good pressure by the Raiders. Inside it goes to Taun. Or make that Dixon, excuse me. Dixon, number 15. And back the other way, Cunningham is met with a vicious body check there, but no harm intended, and he'll go to the line.
We just lost our statistician. Ed had to leave due to prior commitments, so he wished us well, said he's enjoying himself, and all the best for the next game.
What? Jay, your thoughts on Cunningham? Of all the Raiders, he's probably turned in the finer performance tonight, at least offensively. Good young ball player.
Well, he scored the most points for them, but I'll tell you something, he's not going to be satisfied with his performance. He's a much better ball player than he showed tonight. We saw that earlier in the tournament. When he goes, this team goes, and unfortunately tonight he didn't have a great game.
Yeah, that's true. You hit it right there. He's missed a lot of shots that I'm sure he normally makes. Doug Grant gives it inside. Oh, out of nowhere. That was Morgan. That rims off. And the Saints continue to work that ball. Finally, a stoppage in play. Eggeman's going to get called for the foul. 45 seconds left, 78-60. And the substitutions occurring here as we speak.
Dave Wilson wants a timeout. I think all he wants to do here is get his starters back in the game, get his fifth year, or pardon me, his final year players out onto the floor so they can finish off their high school careers together. They've done a great job. I know on the bench they've got one guy who didn't get a chance to play.
All I want to do the last
Saints. 1, 2, 3, 7.
And they're fired up, Jay. They really are.
Yeah, and they should feel very proud of their accomplishments. The only game they lost in this tournament was to DW Poppy, and they played a very, very strong game. Poppy won it in the last few minutes of the game, but they were in it all the way. One player on their bench over there at St. George's who didn't get a chance to play is a grade 10, and Brian Grant. That's Doug Grant's younger brother, and he hurt a knee and broke a bone in his knee earlier this year and didn't get a chance to play, but he's a fine young ball player, and we look for him to possibly play in AA championships in the future.
Stay tuned for our player of the game coming up. Jay and I will select the player of the game, and we'll have it for you, and we'll try to get an interview maybe with that person. Bodell, the shot is good. 80-60 your score. Seconds left. Wang goes to the hoop. Cunningham called for the foul with just 16 seconds left. And things just kind of dying down a bit here as this one concludes, and we catch our breath and get set for the championship game coming right up as Cruikshank goes to the line. He banks that one. You don't see that too often. They usually...
I think they're having a lot of fun out there right now, and he probably had a bet with one of his teammates because he tried to bank that shot.
And 15 seconds left. Cunningham will go straight to the hoop. And then think otherwise. Pointer for Cunningham. Just 2 seconds left.
Oh, no basket. Game's over.
Oh, you gotta love that when you get a chance to win a game in a big night like tonight, and they're a happy bunch. And we are going to go now to Steve Erickson, standing by with a happy winning coach. Steve, take it away.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, you've got to be pleased. Good game all the way around.
I'm ecstatic. I mean, I really wanted the guys to end their career off with a big game, and they came out and they did. And I'm happy because it was a tough loss last night, but they bounced back and they played great. And they had some fun. That's a great way to end it off.
They had a lot of fun. You have a couple of grade 10s, one grade 10 rather, a couple grades 11s. It's got to be a big plus for them.
Oh, it's a super experience for the young guys. I mean, they didn't play much, but they saw what it's all about, and they're all pumped up. They want to get back for next year, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to make it here. It's a lot of fun being here.
You're looking for bigger and better things next year?
I don't know about that, but I'm hoping to get back here in a couple of years. I'm hoping to win it all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to Rich.
All right, thank you, Steve, and let's select our player of the game, shall we, Jay? And why don't you break the news to the folks here? A great game for this person, and he's standing by. Who is he, Jay?
Our player of the game is Jeff Cruikshank, and Jeff had a great game. I don't think he was alone. I think a lot of those St. George's players played well. Doug Bodell did a great job defensively, and Doug Grant had a good game, but Jeff seemed to control things. He controlled. They weren't allowed to, Highland couldn't press with Jeff on the floor. He found the open man. He hit from the outside. He penetrated against their zone. He had a good all-around game, and that's why we selected Jeff.
All right, so Jeff Cruikshank right now on my left. Jeff, how you doing? A little tired?
Oh, not bad. I got a break now and then, so not too tired.
Hey, you were lighting it up tonight. How'd you feel?
Oh, I felt pretty good. We were pretty relaxed because, I don't know, we just knew this was our last game as a senior. We wanted to come out and have fun, and it turned out good for us.
All right, you guys were able to hold that lead that you got in the second quarter. What happened in that second quarter? You guys started to hit some shots, or just you just started to light it up?
I don't know. I guess we've been kind of unlucky all tournament, getting shots not falling, rimming out and stuff. And I guess the basketball gods were with us today. We got some shots to drop, and it was just a lot of fun.
All right, one final question, Jeff. We'll let you go. Congratulations on our player of the game. Summarize the season. You guys did a great job this year.
Yeah, well, we practiced hard, and a third place finish is really worth it for us. We got to give a lot of credit to our coach, Dave Wilson. He did a great job. He was patient with us, and we worked hard, and it's all worth it now that we finished third.
All right, congratulations. Our player of the game from St. George's Saints, Jeff Cruikshank. Concluding comments, Jay. It was a good game, especially for the Saints. The Raiders tried to come back just to no avail.
Well, they did try to make a comeback. They made a couple threes, but I just think that St. George's did a great job defensively. They held them at bay with that press. The press really took any kind of momentum that Highland could get going away from them, and their press was the key factor in the game. And like Jeff said, they made their shots. They did a good job. They made the shots. They worked the ball around well, and they got the ball inside.
All right, Jay, let's go to Steve Erickson real quickly with the coach, Larry Peterson. Steve.
Okay, here we go. Thanks, Rich. Joining me now, Larry Peterson. Tough game for you, Larry. They really seemed to shut you down on the offense.
I don't think they shut us down. I think we shut ourselves down. I was disappointed with the ball game. I didn't think we came focused. I didn't think we came ready to play. Monday, I will look back and I will say fantastic season. 4th in the province, 1st on the island. Played some great basketball over the season. Right now, I don't feel very good. I felt we played badly. But as I say, Monday, I'll feel totally differently, and I'll look back and I'll feel a lot better about the whole thing.
Thanks for joining me. Have a good trip back to the island.
Okay.
I'll see you over in Comox next weekend.
Sounds good. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Larry.
Okay.
Go back to Rich.
All right, thank you, Steve. 82-65, your final. The St. George's Saints over the Comox Highland Raiders. And I'll tell you, we got a good one coming up in just a few minutes. We've got D.W. Poppy from Langley against the Agassiz Chieftain. It's a championship game, and this crowd here at Trinity Western is going bananas, folks, and we've got it for you. It's coming right up. For Jay Triano, for Steve Erickson, for Ozzy Owen, and the entire sports crew, hang tough for a while, because we're back with more exciting high school basketball right here, right now. Rogers 4 Sports.